Hey everyone, welcome into Pro Football Ireland. I'm clapping like a 5-year-old girl in the primary school. I don't know why I said that. I'm just so excited. It's Super Bowl Sunday this weekend, the Chiefs against the Niners. This is our final live show before it all gets underway. Michael McQuaid, Mark Hogan, Jason Hayes live from the Mandalay Bay Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we're going to go straight into it with a guy from DAZN in España, mi amigo, my friend. We've had a bit of crack this season. You say crack in a similar sort of way?
Yeah, something like that.
Diego Campoy, ¿dónde está?
Hello, guys.
How you doing? You good?
Man,
hola.
Best day in my life.
Why is it the best day?
Yeah.
Tell everyone why.
Well, today, Peter Riley has told us that Madrid will host a game in 2025.
Boom.
And also, Real Madrid has reached an agreement with the NFL. And I don't know, guys, if you feel the same, but they were like so confident about being like a long-term agreement, about like building something special. So that's gold for Spanish fans.
Do you think you're going to be, or how did you feel in that announcement? Was it emotional? Because I know we're all living for it, Irish fans, but you've gotten it now. You didn't believe until the words came out of his lips.
It was crazy because we were there, all the press from Spain, that was crazy for us. And then we were like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's today, it's real. And then when O'Reilly said, and we are here today because Madrid will host a game in 2025, it was like,
when you first started following the game, Diego, did you ever think this day will come? Did you ever see a game coming to Spain?
No. Well, when in December we knew that it will be 8 international games in 2025, it was like, we have a good stadium in Madrid, and also we will have another good one in Barcelona. So maybe it's now the time. Michael and I spoke about that in London, and
I tell you what, like I did not think that we were going to announce it now. I was very shocked. We
were shocked when it wasn't announced initially, and I was like, well, obviously it's not, because we had heard rumours. Rumours is all it was. We weren't going to, but everyone had heard that it was a potential that it could happen. But then it just went. They announced the international games. They announced obviously the game the other day on Friday.
Yeah. And
out of nowhere, this got across the line. I don't know why they quite saved it for now, but it was obviously amazing for you. I have to ask, what's been the initial reaction from Spanish fans in the last hour or so?
Like Mark, like general like NFL fans, but also Spanish football fans. Because like you even see guys like that guy Tic Tac. Tic Tac. He's even talking about. I can't remember his name. What's that name again? El Chiquito or something? Yeah.
I don't know. But the people is fucking crazy right now. Sorry. That's
Spanish.
Yes, sorry, that's Spanish. Spanish. But the thing is that people is crazy right now, because now I think this is amazing for people that don't know anything about the NFL. I mean, for me it's amazing, but I will be in London next year and hope in Germany. Also, the journalists that know a lot about this and the fans that know a lot about this, okay, we will have a game in Spain, but they know a lot about the NFL. But I'm thinking in people that don't know anything about the NFL, and now they will have the NFL close to their homes. They will watch everything. I think that now is the moment that we can build a very, 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 very good fan base. So my analytic is like that.
The Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears have the international marketing agreement.
Yeah.
I've already said it's most likely going to be Miami because Chicago plays a home game next year in the AFC. What's the fan base like for Miami?
We have a lot of fan base.
Is that the team?
Yeah. A lot of fans of Dan Marino. But I think now in Spain we have the New England Patriots fans, which are,
Patriots fans?
Yeah, because of Brady.
Well, yeah.
You know, they want to win.
How do you say glory hunter in Spanish?
Uh-huh.
How do you say glory hunter in Spanish?
Cazadores de gloria.
Bueno, did anybody just see Ian Hutchins walk past there?
Yeah, pretty right.
Yeah.
He's been over and back all day, man. It's absolutely well, because we have a lot of the players actually in today that were at the NFL Honours last night.
Aidan, you're live in Ireland. How's it going, man? You good? There we go. We'll take that. Vamos. Diego, we have to leave you in like 2 minutos. What would be your dream matchup in Madrid in 2025?
Well,
as a fan, like obviously
as
like
me,
just
as Diego. Okay, so well,
Soy Diego.
I would like to have, I will show you one thing. I don't have my keys here, but I'm a very fan of the Chicago Bears, so it will be amazing. But I think it will be Miami, because as you said, Miami's got like one more game than Chicago in home next season. But for me, my dream, Chicago against maybe Kansas City.
Oh, really? What about the Packers game?
Well, yeah, but I attended to a Packer game in London against the Giants 2 years ago, I think, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
But maybe Kansas City, we need loud. We need to be like very louder, and we need a very good crowd. So I think Kansas City will be.
I wonder what it's going to be like, because I wanted to get a question in earlier on, be like, what exactly is it from the Spanish fans? Because, you know, Spanish fans will be known to be loud and legendary.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to know, does the NFL, and you can't answer this, but I want to know, does the NFL understand what it's getting itself in for? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. And also to have a game in Madrid, you know, Madrid, it's very great to visit. Yeah, and the thing is that when we have a game in London, we came from all the parts of Europe, us, for example. And then when it's in Germany, it's the same. It's not only German people, it's not only English people, and I think also in Spain we will host a lot of fans from all Europe, so that's amazing.
It'll be on that Ryanair flight back.
How much is it for a Ryanair
Tortilla de
flight?
patata, croquetas, patatas bravas, jamón.
Boogie Jazz Club? Bogui? B-O-G-U-I?
No idea.
No idea. It's near Seoul.
No idea.
Madrid for me is up there with one of the best cities in Europe. But you know what? The Spanish people, guys like Diego, have been great supporters this season, and we really appreciate your help, your support.
No problem.
We are delighted for you today and delighted for everyone. I want to personally give a shout out to the Spanish Bowl, who reposted my video, our video earlier on. And look, we know, I was talking to your friend Luis Jones, like guys like Ruben Vargas, who's at home in his casa this evening, going, oh my God, I must text him and say hello to him. But delighted for you guys, and I'll say this, they're going to get a big game. If it's Miami, they're going to get a big game.
We can crash in your house, by the way.
Hey, you know what? Do you know what the obvious one seems? Miami, New England. If there's that many fans, they're going to give them a big game.
The Miami Dolphins. Here we go. This is the last thing, and then we'll let you leave. The Miami Dolphins schedule
at home
in 2025 is Buffalo, Patriots, Jets, Ravens, Bengals, Saints, and Bucks. And an AFC West team, TBD. I wonder.
There's your Chiefs right there.
No, but it might not be. It could be.
Yeah, but it's based on rankings.
I'm gonna say Bengals. I
would like to.
Yeah.
It will be great. Yeah.
Vamos los Bengals.
Joe Burrow.
What's the plan for you over the next few weeks and months? Just chill?
Yes, I will be working in the zone. I'm trying to still creating content about the NFL. So yeah,
and you work opposite the Bernabeu.
Yeah, like 1 minute from. So
even if you don't speak Spanish, go and look at this guy's Instagram, Diego Campo. It is nuts. He's on a 45-day countdown to this of a vlog every day, and I got to the point where I was like, this guy literally has done more than 45 days. I've done it all my whole life. Diego, muchas gracias.
Nice to meet you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
We are live, so we can't chat to you after. We have to go. But hasta luego. Muchas gracias por tu ayuda.
See you tomorrow in the concert.
Oh, you too tomorrow night.
Oh my God.
You're
coming, Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, you too fan?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Here we go.
I don't have the ticket yet. I'm going to have to get it later
Diego,
on. Yeah, for real.
Gracias, amigo.
Good to see you, man.
Appreciate your support.
Good to see you,
and we'll see you in Madrid in 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, next year.
You have to come.
Next year. Tell you what we'll do. We will come for a siesta / planning trip during the off season.
Okay.
Thank you,
guys.
man. Thank you. All the best. We're gonna have Jeff Reinbold pop on in a few minutes. Big thanks to Diego for coming on to give his thoughts ahead of the Super Bowl on Sunday. Just welcome into everybody watching from around the world: Dublin, Belfast, Cork, Galway, Kerry.
As we sit here bittersweetly thinking that this is our last live show.
If you want, I mean.
Yeah, no, do you know what I almost would? It's been insane. Even as you say there, the likes of Aidan Hutchinson, they won't be around tomorrow. We know that. We've seen people start to, our buddies at the ringer behind us are starting to pack up. It's been insane. I know we've gotten caught up doing the shows. We've massive guests coming on today. But yeah, obviously we want to get around to some questions. We know that we're due to get around to some. So yeah, looking forward to it. And thanks for everyone sticking with us this week.
How ironic would it be if Jeff Reinbold didn't show up? I can say that now. He's not here. Just first off, it's been a great week. Just while we're waiting on Jeff before he shows up. What's the most expensive thing you've paid for? I am going to say that, what's the most expensive thing I paid for food or something wise? Probably last night I had a steak in a bar, and it was $48 for a steak. You want to be having a calf at that point.
Do you know what? That's the thing, though. So I'm not going to say the most expensive thing. The most eye-opening was I got, the 2-pack of Reese's for $6.20. So $3 each, boys. I mean, that's not good value.
What about you, Jason? What do you think?
Yes, an obvious one for me. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but I was in the Excalibur, I think it was. Walked into the shop. No prices. That should have been a warning sign in itself. But I go to the till with a bag of Cheetos and Gatorade. $22. $12 for a bag of Cheetos. I ate them as a very bitter man that evening, and I won't be going back to that shop.
Do you like them?
Oh, they're wild. Those things are good, though. They are good. Those flaming hot Cheetos.
Like in a positive way. You boys were giving off a stink, but then going, oh, jeez, they're great.
No,
Here he
they
is.
are the best.
Come on in, live.
Best.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Reinbold. I hope an Ollie Fortin in the background claps. No. There we Thank you, Ollie. Propo.
We need an applause sign.
Propo. I will get you at least a napkin in Dublin for that. Dave's like me at the minute.
You got to get this guy on it.
Never liked me apparently. Jeff Reinbold. Jeff, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time.
Oh boy,
and I
tell you what,
appreciate
would you stop it with me, please?
Jeff, wanted to bring you in just first off, so we can just, obviously, Jeff, just thank you for your help this season and just continue support. How are you doing? You good?
I'm doing good, and Michael, I got to tell you that for all of the nights that you didn't get much sleep, and all the days that you worked your tail off, to watch you come back here now is the second year I've been around you at this thing, and you've taken a step, and your show's taken a step, and football in Ireland's taken a step, and I think it's all good, man. It's I'm proud of you and the crew that you put together, and it's all good about right now where football is, and on the Emerald Isle.
I'll just say, just to add to that, I really appreciate what you're saying there, Jeff, and we really appreciate the support that you continue to give to us, but just a thanks to these two lads as well, and to everyone included, because the work being put in is
I'm getting emotional now, guys.
We'll do this on Sunday properly. But Jeff, let's talk to us, man. Talk to us. Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yep.
Jeff, look at me, man. Look at me right now, right? Friday night, Las Vegas.
Did you ever think? And I'll tell you what, it's kind of like it's the end of a long week of being at the world's biggest circus slash sideshow slash freak show I mean, it is nuts. And, the game now is just 48 hours away from us, and, that's what's really, really, really what we all came for.
We are going to talk about it on Jeff's show, which is coming up at around 11 o'clock or 3 o'clock local time, so Jeff knows that time. Jeff, did you get us a guest yet?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to get Jesse in the building. I can't. We're having a little bit of a challenge trying to get him in the building, but we got the 49ers PR staff working on it.
Have you been annoying Caleb's head? Shout out to Caleb.
Yeah, I tell you what, Caleb's been really good to us.
Nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's. It's amazing here. These people are so accommodating, and the NFL makes it so easy to be a fan, and the access that you get to the players, the access that you get to the alumni, to the teams, it's unprecedented in all the sport. I don't know of another sport where you get this much access, particularly on a championship weekend.
Have you boys any questions?
Do you know, it is a funny thing that you point out there, because if you go onto your Instagrams and you look at how many followers Tom Brady has, it might be 15 million. You go to a soccer player, any soccer player, and they tend to have something like that. NFL players aren't superstars, to us they absolutely are. To get them all into this building, it's massive. It's absolutely huge. These guys don't need the money. We all know the wages are insane in American football, but to get them in and to do it the way that they're doing, it's like, if the NFL can do it, why can't they do it in those other sports?
You know what? It's interesting you talk about that, and I remember one of the biggest things that shocked me when I went to my first Premiership game was I went to a press conference after the game, and there were no players that spoke, and the manager spoke very briefly, and I asked about, why is there no Sunday coverage where in the newspaper they interview the players, or the post-match they interview the players, and I was told that they're not required to do that, in big-time soccer. in the National Football League, you are told that you have to, be available to the media after a game, and I think that's good because they don't want to hear what a sports writer has to say or a pundit has to say. They want to hear what the athletes have to say.
And that's it, though. That's it, though. So it's a collective bargaining agreement. The NFL's foundations are so strong that they're able to put this thing. Soccer can't go back. Soccer can't implement a salary cap. But that's why the NFL is literally going global. We know the Spanish announcement. We've already talked about it today. That's why they're able to build this thing, and they're not conquering 330 million people in America anymore. They're going after the rest of the world.
Ryan Babel said it the other day.
Ryan Babel.
He really, as random as that sentence sounds. Is this a weird dream right now? But he said it himself like that. They don't require it, and they allow them to have a bit of rest and time away from the media. But particularly the two teams playing in this game, like this 2-week build-up must just feel like it takes forever.
I've never had an opportunity to be a part of it, but I've had a number of players and I have one in particular that's a part of it this week, and it's typically what happens is in the week previous to this, all of the game plan, all of the football is really put in, and then when you're here, it's just trying to manage the week for the coaches and for the teams who can, I guess, escape the distractions, particularly when you're in a city like Vegas. Who can escape the distractions the best? And everybody has a different approach to it. I know when Coach Vermeil brought his teams to Super Bowls, it was very, very much business. And other teams, I've watched the Raiders go into Super Bowls, and it's just like, hey, let's go to Vegas for the week. So everybody has a kind of way of doing it, but bottom line is the bottom line. And I think that's going to be one of the keys to the game is how well these two coaches handle the pressure of the moment.
Just the final one from us, Jeff. You're going to be live in a little bit, and you're also at the Touchdown Judge parties tonight, me and Phoebe. And these lads are going to be here as well. We're going to have a crack. Two-part question. First one's from Fred saying, does the week overall players and managers? And secondly, Jeff, Aidan Durden has become the Seahawks defensive coordinator. That must be awesome. Again, it's awesome news, but you must be buzzing with that.
Well, I'm happy for Aidan for a couple of reasons. Number one, he was a kid that we found in London Olympians, junior program in London. He grew to be a player in NFL Europe. From NFL Europe, he had a dream of being a coach in the United States and followed that dream. And I think that's a great story for any kid out there that, what is possible if you believe in yourself and you're willing to put in the work and invest in, he had a tough go of it at the start, was away from his family, he was working for basically nothing. But, that's the story of a lot of guys that have ultimate success is just they compete their way, to whatever their goal is.
Who's behind this, lads? Jeff, who's behind this with the dreads? Who is that?
I can't see because the kid's standing in the way.
Mark, you know who it is.
Popular man, whoever it is.
Oh, it's Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
I knew it was someone. Everyone see Kirk Cousins with
who was the one that you guys saw this week that was like, you got a little starstruck?
Thierry Henry was pretty wild. Thierry Henry just did an interview with Talk Sport.
Jeff was just sitting chilling. The world's media was around this table earlier on.
And I didn't want to be disrespectful, but, Thierry Henry is a huge, huge global superstar in his sport. But, the last thing I wanted to do was bother him because he had enough people around him, grabbing at him and wanting pictures and everything else. It's incredible here when you think about whether it's, Deion Sanders or Donovan McNabb or, any of them that aren't really active in the game, the number of them that you see just walking around the building and then I think about the handlers, how hard that must be to kind of herd
when you have Michael McQuaid over here,
herd cats like they have to, and a million people are grabbing at them and pulling at them, and it's a spectacle. It really, really is a spectacle.
Do you know what? To answer the question I love seeing the players walking by, your Aidan Hutchinson and stuff, but I think the access that Tony Romo and Jim Nantz allowed when they were on, and the way Jim Nantz gave his time and was so proud to see Irish people asking him questions because of the growth that maybe he's been a part of in the NFL, but also to speak to the way that he did to you, Michael. Dara had a minute with him and he actually had to turn off the camera because it was such a candid moment that the two of them were having that he didn't want this to be. Jim Nantz was congratulating him on his studies, congratulating on him getting here. And that kind of stuff to me, that's the real takeaway as much as seeing any of these players.
All right, guys, I got to ask you this question.
Okay.
Now, you guys were at the international press conference this morning, and we saw that Madrid is going to be a host city of the when an international city game. When Ireland?
I think it'll be 30-year anniversary, 27. That's just me as a fan talk.
I think it's 26 because the comment today was, don't get me wrong, there's something happened. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers thing and the AFC doesn't match up in 2026, but I think they're getting giddy.
They didn't shy away from those questions, did they?
Yeah.
No, and that's really, I think if you've been around the NFL for very long, you guys understand that, the NFL just doesn't say things to say things, and particularly when they put themselves out there, they're not going to put themselves out there and be embarrassed. So when they were openly discussing Ireland today, that to me is confirmation that there is going to be a game in Ireland soon.
Jeff, we love you. Thank you for everything over the last 22, 20. None of this would happen without your help as well, man. So we certainly appreciate it. I know Jason will be on his hands and knees saying thank you in a few moments whenever we go off camera and take it place. But here, it's hard to believe after this weekend that'll be it for a while.
You know what, Mike? I thought about that today when I was walking out in the lobby. That we're not only 48 hours from the game, but we're 72 hours from no more football for months, and that's gonna be a huge vacuum in all our lives, I think.
And I'm taking a month, so Jeff Ryan will probably take a month, which I feel bad about. But if you send me an audio note, if you chat to someone, I'll put it as a podcast. It'll be sweet. Jeff, seriously,
thank you guys.
Thank you, man.
Right.
I'm looking forward to having your show, but if we keep talking, your show won't be on because we've got that party to go to. Here, and you're talking about, you don't say stuff for nothing. You can ask the main man himself later on that party if you crash it. Okay, Jeff, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Reinbold. If Jeff stays here for 2 seconds, it makes it look pretty professional. He's already away. God bless you, Jeff. I was joking if you stayed here and looked professional, we were going to put an interview on, but we are going to put an interview on. Folks, it's been great crack this week. We're going to get a lot of your questions put in, but we're going to start off. Who are we start off with for the interview, do you think? Which one should we go with, Mark?
I feel like...
Let's go Bisping, yeah?
Yeah, Bisping was actually recorded yesterday, so that makes sense.
You almost forgot about Bisping. How did you forget about
Unreal. We had the chance to chat to Michael Bisping last night. Here he is. Big thanks to Jeff. Here's Michael Bisping. It's the Friday of Super Bowl week, Super Bowl 58 from Las Vegas, Nevada. Pro Football Ireland in the Mandalay Bay Convention Centre for Radio Row. Wow, Michael Bisping, man. What's going on, eh?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I wish I got that kind of... I wish I was received like that everywhere I went. Wow. Thank you, fellas. How you doing?
How'd you end up coming? Are you an NFL fan?
I know nothing about NFL. I know something. I've heard this conspiracy theory that it's all scripted, which is nonsense. I know Taylor Swift's going to be there. And I know it's the San Francisco 49ers against Kansas City Chiefs. Other than that, if you put a gun to my head, right, and said, I'm going to... no. If you put a gun to my wife and children's heads and said, I will blow their brains out unless you mention 3 players, I'd be like, well,
good night,
we had a good run, guys. You know what I mean?
Guessing names at least,
Travis Kelce.
There, boom, 1.
That's 1. Patrick Mahomes.
2.
Hold on. I've got it. Oh, no. Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, love. Just pulled the trigger now, buddy, I'd say.
Well, you're not an NFL fan, Michael, but you're really well familiar with Vegas.
No, of course.
No. How does this whole setup and the whole show being made compare to other things you've done
especially because the UFC sometimes is not taking over the city.
Yeah.
This thing in comparison has, right?
The sport was born here as well.
You want to be here on an international fight week, though, to be fair, because it does kind of take over the town. Going back to the NFL for a second, of course, I appreciate it. I do, and I do enjoy the sport. I just don't have a team that I follow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm not really the biggest team sports fans. I mean, football, as we call it back home, I do enjoy football, but I say I'm a Man United fan. But again, the kids would have to get killed twice over if you wanted 5 names on the team. But yeah, no, the NFL, I mean, it's a big deal, isn't it? And this is incredible. Super Bowl week. It's one of the biggest cultural events in the United States. And I always watch the Super Bowl, even though I'm not a big NFL fan, for the halftime show. See what birds they've got performing.
Do you feel like you kind of wanted to do well in Vegas? I mean, we had Buffer. Bruce Buffer was announcing the thing there on Monday. Like,
I think he's going to announce it. Like, I think he's going to open it on Sunday.
Yeah, you want like the the glitz and glamour, the whole thing.
You
Vegas
were going to say razzmatazz.
I almost was. He's like, what age am I again?
You bailed on it. You bailed on it, but you almost went
Thrown
with it.
under the bus over
The
here.
razzmatazz of the Bruce Buffer.
The razzmatazz of the Bruce Buffer was going to be on show on Monday night, right?
No, Bruce is the man, and he's been doing that stuff for a long time at the Raiders Stadium. And he's one of the best announcers in the business. You know, you see Bruce Buffer, he's doing the Formula One these days. He's really branching out. But, yeah, Bruce, what a legend.
Have you, I mean, I'm sure you've been to Ireland at some point in your life, but have you any connection to Ireland at all? Any Irish blood in you?
Yes.
Oh?
Let me tell you a story. So when the UFC went to Belfast, I think it was 2007, my cousin Tony, who lives in Downpatrick, my mum's Irish, is what I'm getting. My mum's Irish,
right.
But not like Americans say Irish. You know, like Americans, oh yeah, we're Irish. No, you're not. Does anyone in your family have an Irish accent? No, they don't. So don't say you're Irish, because you're not. My entire family are all Irish, Northern Ireland. So my cousin Tony picked me up on a Tuesday from Belfast, and we went to Killalay, this small little pub, small little town. And we went to this pub, and it was packed. I mean, absolutely jam-packed. And I said to Tony, I said, bloody hell. I said, this place is packed on a Tuesday night. He said, Michael, every single person in this pub is related to you. So they all come to see you.
Oh, my
so,
God,
yeah,
what?
I've got a little bit of a connection to Ireland.
Happy then.
Here, you're not completely useless to us here, Michael. We can use some of your experience to tap into what the Super Bowl is doing to some of these guys. Look, you fought some legends in your time, no more so than when you took on GSP.
Yep.
When you're preparing for GSP, like some of these boys are getting ready for Patrick Mahomes, it's different. Yeah, they won't give it to us this week because they're all media trained, but it is different, right? And you know that he's on the other side of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you got to have respect for your opponent and understand the threat, if you will, for want of a better word, that they pose to you. You know, but that just pushes you to strive to succeed and get better. You know, I mean, listen, the fact that they're here in the Super Bowl final, I mean, it's not by luck, is it? It's not by luck, so you've got to understand that as well. The fact that you're in this position in the first place is because you deserve to be. You know, and when you remember that, it's like when you're challenging for the belt. Of course, there's nerves. There's nerves. You're looking at the opponent, that's the world champion, and you think, man, it's like, hold on a minute, you're here for a reason. You haven't been cherry-picked because of popularity or something. You've earned this. And that's exactly what, you know, every player on that field is going to be thinking on Saturday.
And how much does that
Sunday,
confidence grow with experience as well? Because obviously you have Mahomes on one side who's going to his fourth, Brock Purdy going to his first, still relatively inexperienced. Does it become easier when you do more of these type of big events?
It kind of does. You know, I mean, obviously the more experience, the big pressure, you know, I mean, yeah, it is a lot. But you do get used to that. But that can also be to detriment, you know, because the more experience you get, and you might get a little nonchalant. Last thing you want to do is get nonchalant, and I don't think anybody is out there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, the big fight feels, the big game feels. I mean, the entire world watching on Sunday. I mean, it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere, and yeah, I mean, listen, bring your A game, boys.
I promise this man a question here, so I'll give it to him before.
I'll get in beforehand, but the Luke Rockhold fight was massive at the time, but you went in an underdog.
Yeah.
You win and you get up on the cage and you can see it in your face. This is a massive one. What happens afterwards that night? Because I want to know what these boys are doing in Vegas that night. You know, do you go wild, or is it just you're kind of like you level out and you're like, man?
Well, first of all, it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know it's not. I knew it wasn't in Vegas. I knew it wasn't in Vegas.
So I'm joking. No, look, listen. So after I knocked him out, I jumped on top of the octagon and I pointed down, and I won't swear, but I was like, F you. And but that
we can actually say it all you want on
no,
our show.
I'm like, fuck you, but it wasn't an F you to him. It was to everyone that doubted me, everyone that wrote me off along the way, all these journalists, all these experts, all these guys that do radio shows like yourself that don't know what it's like to step on there into an octagon and have all that pressure and the blood, sweat and tears and sacrifice, and they still try and tear you down. So it was to all the naysayers and things like that. But what did we do afterwards? Well, I had a bloody bad head on Monday morning. Monday morning, my head was still blazing from the hangover, and Dana White calls me and offered me my first title defence. So I was like, yeah, go on then. And then I fell back asleep, and then I woke up, I'm like, did I organise a fight?
Well, Michael, last question. You talk about, blood, sweat and tears, men in the arena. Obviously, we can't go without talking about Conor McGregor. He's had a really bad injury. Hasn't really come back yet. However, maybe 165 is the perfect weight. I don't know if you have some inside information on that. Brand new division, but could we see a championship fight at 165, Conor McGregor, and can he beat Mike Chandler?
Yeah, look, listen, I've seen all these rumours online of 165. I don't have any inside info whatsoever, and that's not me being tight-lipped or anything like that. I've seen the same rumours that you guys would have seen. I haven't heard anything, and they probably wouldn't tell me if they did, because I've got a big mouth. To answer your question, though, for Conor McGregor, listen, Conor McGregor changed the game. He came over here and he took over the sport, became a two-weight division champion. I mean, the he's one of the most famous sportsmen on the planet, and the wealth that he has amassed is ridiculous. The reason I bring all those things up is because he's achieved everything you could possibly dream of achieving. There's nothing more to do. Now, I respect the fact that he wants to come back and fight, because with all that money and fan recognition and people loving him all over the place, you can't buy being champion of the world. You can't buy that feeling when you walk out there in front of a stadium of people screaming your name. It's the best rush on planet Earth. And you can't buy the respect from the fight community. And that's what he yearns, right? Because he's lost a few recently. And that's why I say, listen, I've had my differences with Conor McGregor, but you cannot deny that this man's a true fighter. And you got to have respect for that. He doesn't need to fight. He does not need to fight. He can go off and live his life as a young man with no injuries. I stuck around the game far too long. I've got one eye. I've got 2 total knee replacements. I've got metal plates in my neck. I live a life in pain all day, every day. Conor doesn't need to risk that. But that's potentially what he is risking every time you step in there. He's got an untold amount of wealth. He could probably never spend it, but he still chooses to do it. And as I say, as a former fighter myself and as a man, you have to respect that.
I just wanted to say as well, it's funny you're talking about going into like an arena and hearing people screaming your name. I moved from Spain to Manchester in 2016. I was living in Salford, and I went to my first ever UFC event, which was your fight against Mr. Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, Michael, who thought it was a good idea to put that on at 20 to 5 in the morning? I was drinking coffee as I was drinking pints. I was like, I was 8 rows.
Yeah.
That was a great night. What did that night mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, after such a long road, becoming champion is what all fighters want to achieve. But then bringing the belt back to Manchester, and I'm from just down the road, a small town called Clitheroe. So to bring it back there, seeing that arena as a young kid, and like, you dream of fighting there one day, defending the title. And yes, by the time it was all said and done, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. And you know what, the Irish and the British are like, you know what I mean? They like a drink. It was a lively atmosphere, shall we say. And I had to deal with the aftermath, because all my mates and friends and family, when I went to meet them afterwards, I'm sober as a judge. I was black and blue, and they were absolutely smashed. I'm like, talking to these people was harder work than the fight.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, never again.
I guess, Jason, do you want to give Mr. History a card and see if he has any?
This could be very NFL
not to
related.
put you on the spot here, Michael.
Okay.
You were going on the
Michael,
spot one way or
it's
another.
kind of A or B type question, so you can take a punt regardless. If you'd like to pick a card there and
Pick
answer
a
the
card,
question.
any card.
Any card.
Sure. All right.
This is right and bad.
Defensive PRTG.
Defensive player of the game.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know any defensive players played it?
Tell you what, Michael,
There's one there to your
who's
right
going to
there.
win? Give us a 50-50
Yeah, there
pick.
you go.
Chiefs or Niners?
I mean, it's the power of Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Cannot
man,
be
you're in on that.
denied. No, I'm going for San Francisco 49ers.
And I was told by this man that you live in California, so
I live in California, and when I was a kid, you know what I'm basing that on? When I was a kid, growing up in little old Clitheroe, I had a quilt cover, and it was all the NFL teams on it. And I thought it was so cool. And for some reason, the San Francisco 49ers always stood out. So that's my highly analytical pick.
I love it.
Put your money on it.
Very, very, very quickly, because I heard you chatting to Talksport about boxing. Katie Taylor in Crook Park. Has to happen, yeah? Has to happen.
I'd like to see it happen, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I've got no say in that stuff. What is it? Eddie Hearn? Tell Eddie to get...
Eddie. Oi.
Let's make it happen, Eddie.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Michael Bisping, Gurmy Margaret, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
This has been good crack, sir. Enjoy. Are you going to the Super Bowl on Sunday? Or?
I wish.
No?
No. So I'm working tomorrow night. I'm working all night, every night. It's all I bloody do these days. But when I finish tomorrow night, there's an event that I'm working. Then I'm going to go straight home, wake up in my own bed. You know, back in the day when I used to fight in Vegas and come to Vegas, I'd enjoy Vegas. I drive in and I drive out. As soon as it finishes, 10 o'clock at night, I jump in my car and walk home. It's about a 4-hour drive to California to my house. I wake up in my own bed. I don't have to wake up with a hangover, dealing with the airport. You know what I mean? I'm an old, boring man.
We've all to look forward to, boys.
that airport Monday morning is going to be disgraceful. And
it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael, you're welcome on any time, mate, and hopefully we'll see you over in Manchester again soon for a fight, or Dublin for Katie Taylor. Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend.
Is this where does this show go out? I mean, I'm assuming Ireland, but Northern Ireland as well.
Both.
All right. So I just want to say to all my family in Northern Ireland, all the lads, all my old friends, love you all, miss you all, and yeah, there you go.
Is it all Downpatrick?
Downpatrick, Killalay.
You'll love it. There's some Tato there.
Oh
from
my
Northern
God!
Ireland
There's
some.
The Chris there from the Northern Tato.
Northern Irish Tato, and you got Southern Taters. You take both of me in one.
Yeah, you're good, mate. I'm on keto.
Oh my
Good man.
Take it easy, boys.
Thank you.
So much.
All right, we're live. That was Michael Bisping. How did we pull that off? Huh? Michael Bisping?
That was hilarious.
From one absolute fighting legend to another fighting legend, just a legend in general.
Yeah, that's what they call me, fighting legend.
Yeah.
As you saw me cowering in David Njoku's presence yesterday, I look like a fighting champion. That whole thing, man, was like high school all over again, because the skinny, funny guy is never very popular.
Yeah.
And the big athlete is, and you're like, make sure you don't kick my behind. Can I work blue here? I forgot. Can I work blue here?
Yeah, you can.
Can I say ass? Like, is that
your
your mind?
I'm just tweeting out that you're here. Don't worry.
You should have seen Bisping's interview.
Okay, good. I don't know. I want to be.
If you saw Bisping's
Well,
interview,
Grossi came
everything's on the
over.
table.
I strive, like I've got a pouty mouth, but on my podcast, I typically don't curse because my kids watch the live streams and whatnot. Grossi walks up dropping F-bombs, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's that kind of show now. It's 1 PM, and we're just dropping, all right, please, do what you got to do. But by the way, great to be here, brother. Thank you.
Adam Rank.
Oh, yeah, I started talking before you gave me my proper introduction.
Falcha. It's genuine. Falcha, welcome.
Thank you. I love it. I'm glad that we are getting this opportunity. It's always good to see you. I know we were talking about this. Pull back the fourth wall a little bit. When you first emailed me, and you're like, hey, shoot my shot. Usually for the Americans, I don't care. I'm like, nah, you're fine. But UK, anything like that, or Ireland. Sorry, I know that's not the UK. We've talked about this plenty of times. I know.
Adam,
forgive me.
You gave us, the first time you came on, you gave us a great description of your Irish or Northern Irish ancestry, so feel free to tell us straight up what it is, if you can remember. Antrim, isn't it? Yeah.
What's that now?
Antrim, am I right? County Antrim?
Yes.
Go for it. Tell everyone at home.
I can't.
You can't?
I can't. My mind's mush now.
I think you literally said that half your family was Irish or German or something.
Irish and German, so we were too drunk to follow orders.
Yeah.
Was that the joke?
I think
that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was awesome anyway.
That sounds about right. Yeah, northern and not the cool Ireland, Northern Ireland.
Here, listen.
Oh no, wait! Now have I insulted everybody? We're also Scottish.
Me and Dara are both from the north, so it's kind of like
I'm joking.
You've only insulted one of us.
Yeah, there you go. We're fine. You're both.
Oh God. Here,
we're also Scottish too. So that's too.
Same thing, isn't it? I mean, not at all. People are going to be very annoyed at me.
They're so mad at me right now.
No, I'll be annoyed at me. Don't worry. Be like, Michael,
they're mad. They're like, we used to like rank. Now we don't.
Rankaboo, as we say, up the rank. And we're live right now. If anyone has a question for Adam, it can literally be anything as long as it's sort of football related.
I have a very important question, Adam.
Yes.
You've developed this reputation for picking the underdogs all year.
Fading the public.
Yeah.
As they like to call it.
What's your secret?
I know that people think that I just picked every single one of them, which is not the case. You can go look at the playoff picks because there were opportunities. Nobody was picking Pittsburgh, and there was another one where nobody was. Again,
do you wait to be the last pick on purpose?
If there are games, I will seek out and be like, hey, because you'll know. You get a sense of is anybody picking? Even for this one, I asked the guy who does that, Sean Shoppy, and I said, hey, is anybody? People are picking the Niners, right? Oh yeah, 2 people picked the Niners. Yeah, and I still didn't like it. But there are times where you're just kind of I do seek it out a little bit because again, it's a gambling thing that you hear these guys out here in Las Vegas talking about is fading the public sometimes. Sometimes when the public is so convinced of something, there's no way that it can happen. But I take my shots. I don't do it blindly. I put thought into it. And there was one that I regret not doing because, again, it was Green Bay at Detroit on Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I sort of like Green Bay. And then Sean told me, he's like, nobody's taking them. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
I think you got Green Bay.
But I had Green Bay over the 49ers.
Yeah.
That was Green Bay over the Cowboys.
Dallas, yeah.
Like, that was an easy one.
Did you pick them again over the 49ers? You might have done, but I
No. I picked the 49ers. And then I posted our picks from 2 years ago when the game was in Green Bay. It was the Robbie Gould field goal winner for the 49ers. That was the one where I was the only one who picked the 49ers and everybody picked Green Bay. But I retweeted that one. And so everybody's like, nobody believes in the 49ers. And it just caught fire. And then, like, you get pot committed at some point. And you're like, I don't know how to backtrack from this. So, yeah, that's the tweet. Like, it's a joke.
We haven't had much draft discussion on this podcast all week or this show yet. But now I think it's a good time to get into it because the Bears have the number 1 overall pick, and it seems very unclear what their plans are going to be. So what do you think?
Nobody knows what they're doing. I mean, the Bears. Ryan Poles knows what he knows what he's
just
doing.
Get that quote. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Nobody knows what they're
calls
doing.
out the Chicago Bears.
Nobody knows what they're doing. But I mean, like, in a sense, I'm not sure that they've made up their minds what they want to do, because the interesting thing about the Bears' position is that you kind of get a glimpse of it in this game between the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. You have a quarterback who is the best in the NFL, potentially the best of all time, and that conversation could happen if the Chiefs win. And you see how important it is to have that position filled. And as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, it's always like having a chip in a chair. You know, you're always good. You're always going to be in it. And then on the other side, you have a quarterback who was the Mr. Irrelevant. He's surrounded by a lot of talent. Which one is really better? Like, which idea which process is the best? We'll probably get an answer on Sunday. And I'm not going to say that Ryan Poles is going to determine it on this game. Like, see, we need the quarterback. But I think that if you are blown away by Caleb Williams and you look at this and you're like, yeah, we can't be the guy who passed on C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams, especially if Justin Fields doesn't work out. You could reset the quarterback. I get the math. Like, I understand the theory. Like, when David Caruso left NYPD Blue to go do movies. Like, I understand what you're thinking. I'm not sure it's a great idea, but at the same time, I understand where they're thinking. But I'm a fan, so I think like a fan, and I love Justin Fields. So I'm like, let's build around him.
Do you think there are situations where the GM might make a pick perhaps out of fear? You know, fear.
Fear is a huge motivator.
They might think the best option is to keep Fields, but
like that last minute before they're on the clock and everyone's watching them, and it's
just
all
the
been
public
built up,
reaction.
They're number 1. You're bang on. Like,
yeah, they'll make their decision somewhat soon. Because I was talking to DJ Moore earlier today. That trade came down on March 13th, I believe it was last year. I know it was a Friday. I was on Total Access. And I went on and I was embattled with people because I'm like, DJ Moore is one of the top 5 receivers in this league, and people didn't believe me. And I think he proved that this year. So they're probably going to make this decision by March, because a lot of things have to start when the league year starts. You have to start making decisions on, are we making a bid for T. Higgins or Michael Pittman if one of those players are available? If Mike Evans becomes available, are you signing him? What edge rusher are you signing? Is Danielle Hunter going to be available? Do you make a run at him? Are you signing a center? There's so many different things that are going on. And again, if you're a team that would be in the market for either trading for the quarterback or making a move for Justin Fields, you want to have that sorted. You want to be able to move on. If you're at the Atlanta Falcons and you're like, we're trading you a second-round pick in Kyle Pitts for Justin Fields, then we got to go into free agency knowing that. We have to know who our quarterback is and what we're going to do at the quarterback position. So we should see this within a month. I know that he said, like, we're gonna take our time, but the combine's in 2 weeks. You're going to get an opportunity to meet him. I feel like they've done their player evaluation on him, and they know what kind of player he is. I don't think that there's anything that could go on in the combine. He's probably not going to throw anyway. It's going to be those meetings. And if they go out there and they like the makeup of Caleb Williams, they'll probably make their decision based on those meetings.
Sorry to everybody on the podcast, but I just want to shout out Mark's sister saying, no, Mark is not late to a podcast again. Adam, I'm going to go off the whole NFL topic for a second. People around us and around you know of your affinity for this island and your love for harp.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the old harp advert where it's like, you could fry an egg on this?
No.
Oh, man. I feel like we need to put it on.
Can we pull it up? How do we do that? Let me pull it. By the way, there's a couple of bars. It's surprising how many bars in Las Vegas have harp on tap.
You can't get harp at home anymore, can you?
No,
you can't.
Funny, I had it last night in where we were. I am 21. Yeah, but
you did actually, yeah. Well.
Yeah. It was actually very nice here.
What makes it so special?
I like that. It's better. Okay, if you've ever had American beers, you know, like their basic domestic American lagers leave a lot to be desired, which is wild to me because sometimes Bud Light is so popular over there, and I'm like, why? Like, why? And then Harp was just one of these things that just sounded cool.
Yeah.
And there was a bar in Costa Mesa, California called the Harp, and so like, oh yeah, the Harp, and it's like kind of like figuring that you're ordering the house lager, but it's like having like. If you don't want one of those heavy beers, like America's now into the heavy beers, we got to have a 9% IPA and all that, which is great, and it's a cool thing. But like sometimes, I don't need that in my life. I just need like a small little lager. But the taste of Harp was delicious.
We will send you that video today, and you'll love
Please
it. You'll
do.
probably tweet it out. You'll love it that much. Dara, you're up in Belfast along with me. I'm sure you might have heard of it, Jason, at some point. But the Harp Bar,
Yeah, of course,
legendary
the Harp Bar. Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
obviously the Harp Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to come over.
I would love to.
Let's
That's
do-
one of the things we gotta start expanding. I know that the NFL is gonna go to Madrid. We're gonna go to Brazil and some other places.
Don't drop any spoilers here. I mean, don't get yourself in trouble. I'm joking. I mean, the plan is Brazil and Madrid. Yeah.
Wait, did they not say that?
No, they didn't.
No,
I spill it?
I thought you were going to take a different
I've been
video.
sitting on the Devin Hester, Steve Mongo, McMichael thing for a week, which was very difficult. And I almost told them, like, I'm spoiling this. They're like, how? Like, why? And I'm like, I do a Bears podcast. Like, if I have this information, I should be able to report it. I only stopped because I didn't want to be the person who broke it to Devin Hester. I didn't want Devin Hester and Mongo's family to find out from me. Then I would feel terrible.
I found out about Madrid at 5 o'clock yesterday, and it was very hard not to say something.
Was it?
Yeah, because like it's obviously it's a huge deal internationally. But then if you're that person that breaks it, you're a bad person. So you don't want to.
A little bit, yeah. I'd forgive you, but like, why can't we play in Ireland? Let's have a game up there.
That has to be next. You would think.
Make it happen.
I want to make that happen.
We're a very patient island.
And enough with the Hotspur Stadium. Like, I'm done with Tottenham.
You could do both.
I'm an Arsenal
You're an
fan.
Arsenal fan.
See Thierry Henry walking past.
Yeah.
Don't even tell me about that because I've been working all day, and
He was at the Paramount table.
He was
beside
at
you.
He was at the DraftKings thing, and I can see him from my booth, and I see him up there, and I'm like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
But I was having a great interview, and I was having a lot of fun. So I'm like, you know what, you gotta be in the moment with her, because that's one of the most difficult things here.
Oh yeah.
Is that it's hard not to, because you want to give everybody your attention.
Yeah.
You want to be present in the moment, and then. Look at this. By the way, exactly. Case in point.
As I watch,
like you can't even talk 5 seconds onto a point that I'm trying to. He exemplifies it.
Safe home, Paul.
Have a good trip back.
All the best.
Paul just jumps in.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul, this was my time. I've been waiting all day, all week to do this. How are you? Good to see you. You good? Thank you.
Isn't it a gorgeous shirt? He says
It
it's
is.
gorgeous.
It's controversial. Some people have gone the other way. But you look sharp, so I'll take you. I love your opinion.
Paul,
have a safe travel.
Harp lager, yes or no?
Harp log, I'm more of a Smittix guy.
Oh, there you go.
Not bad. Listen, it's okay.
Safe home.
All the best. You guys are doing great work. Take care.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Thanks for coming
I
by.
was going to give
But
an
no,
example of we seen
That's
Ethan
exact-
Hutchinson, and I was like, oh yeah.
But that's always it's one of the best things though about this, because I was doing the thing with Darren Fletcher, and we're walking around Radio Row, and we're talking to each other. We aren't looking. We've barely made eye contact because you're just walking around like, yeah, you know what? And I think the Chiefs' defense is the thing. Oh my God, Flavor Flav, you know. And it's like, it's just an amazing thing to do out here, you know.
Shane McGillicuddy is Shane McGillicuddy. Nice surname.
Is she having a go at me?
No, like, it's a guy.
Oh, so I didn't. I thought you said Sheila.
That's my accent. Sheila's a lovely name as well. Sheehan saying draft a QB and don't trade Fields. Need strong backup quarterbacks as we've seen this year. I want Justin Fields to go to Denver.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Saucy. Rory Fitzgerald, Harp versus Smithix. The next question needs to be Coddle or Stew. What the hell? Coddle? No.
I've never had that before.
I don't know. I was playing along.
Just say Stu. Just say Stu.
Stu.
Yeah. If you saw Coddle, you would not want to.
I don't know. I didn't know what it was, so I was just trying to play along to look cool.
Caleb and Fields are, this is from John Murray. Caleb and Fields are similar in size, similar in style. Why waste the number one pick? You just said that 10 times.
You know, I think that when you watch Caleb Williams play, he doesn't do some of the things that's been hurting Justin Fields over the last couple of years. Like, one of the biggest knocks on Fields is that he's 6'2". He's actually taller than Caleb Williams, but he plays smaller because he crouches down. Like, when the rush comes in, he crouches. It's like, no, you're tall. Stand up, deliver the ball. I don't know if that's a thing that can be corrected with coaching or not. Shane Waldron's obviously been in the NFL for a couple of years. He knows what he's getting into. And, you know, when they interview for this job, they got to have some sense of, like, I can work with either quarterback. And I think you go into that gig being like, yeah, I can work with either one of these guys. Let me know what are the things that we're going to fix. But again, like, everybody's making a good point. Like, when somebody says, like, hey, like, these guys are about the same, like, build around him. You're like, good point. Like, reset the quarterback clock by trading Justin Fields. Like, another good point. Like, there's not wrong answers. It's just
is there
what your preference is.
Any team in particular you think would stand out as a potential trade partner? I know Cliff Kingsbury's gone to Washington now, of course.
I think that's a bit overblown because Kingsbury was there for 1 year. It's not like it's Lincoln Riley. Like, if Lincoln Riley was coaching in Washington, I would feel a little bit. But when they talk about, like, hey, he's going to go back and play where he's from. I'm like, okay, where'd he go to college? Did he go to Maryland? He did not. He went to Oklahoma and USC. So don't give me this like, oh, he wants to play. He doesn't. He had 2 chances to play at home during his college career, and he did not do it. So I don't buy he's going home. Like, nope, he had his chance. Enjoy Chicago, if that's where he goes.
What would Justin Fields' value be worth, do you think, if he was going to be traded, just before we have a final question?
4 number ones. No.
That's Jordan Love. It's easy mistake to make.
Jordan Love. That whole thing. That guy was walking around here.
Oh, man, we got him. We got him.
You got him.
Dan Whelan commented under it going.
Dan Whelan, give him a comment.
There we go. Shout out.
Did you open with nice throw? Like, I know that you got away with it way too many times during the regular season that you're like, oh, I'll just throw this ball up again and see what happens. Oh, my gosh, thank you.
No, this is it. You got to choose which one's the best live.
Is this what people are asking me about?
The red one, Tato, is the Southern version, or the Republic version.
Republic of Ireland.
Oh, sorry, good tackle. Don't worry about King Chris. We'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
The yellow one is the Northern Ireland version.
Oh, this is the better version.
Okay.
Everyone knows.
Wait till you taste them.
The more accessible.
Take them away, taste them, and then give us a real answer.
Taste them.
Oh, we taste testing right now?
There we go. Now you'd be amazed. We've got some really interesting.
You know, I'm going carb-free, so this isn't... No, I'm just joking.
Just take one, Chris.
The Republic...
Yeah, we're not looking at full bag.
So you're going Republic first, yeah?
Yeah, Republic first.
Solid crisp.
Chip or crisp?
That's exactly what Sean Clifford said. Shane Clifford? Sheila Clifford?
Sheila. I'm so sorry.
Big shout out to Shane McGillicuddy. He's getting all the time in that.
McGillicuddy. Is that a real last name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going with the Northern Ireland team?
So great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Such a great crisp.
Adam, here's the thing, right? A lot of people at home are like, oh, well, the southern ones are better. I'm from the north, right? I like both.
They're both good.
Yeah.
I'm not offended by this.
But the question is King better?
No. Do I got to try the
Yeah,
Kings?
you got to try one more now. I promise you can leave. And you can also have a free tea bag from us if you want. There's hot water at the Las Vegas time.
What the hell did you just say to me?
Tea bag.
You gotta look up your American.
Do you not call them tea bags?
We know what that means.
I know what that means, but do you not call them tea bags? No. Do you call them like couches or what? Or what's the? All right, go on.
Come to Pro Football Ireland for a free tea bag.
Oh, good God.
That's good too, but the
Northern Tato.
The northern
Tandragee Tato.
Tandragee Tato.
Really good. No, but McGillicuddy, are you guys wrestling? You guys are wrestling guys.
Michael McGillicuddy?
Well, I'm not
Beulah
anymore.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah,
That was the whole
Mr.
thing.
Perfect.
I'm barred from
yeah.
all WWE events now, so.
Mike McGillicuddy. Yeah. You're now in WWE events.
Oh my
Curtis
Jesus.
Axel.
You should have been like, hey, Trips. I
Becky
gotta
and-
tell. So
Becky and
I know him a little bit. Joe Henning.
Yeah.
Like, why you don't let him trade on his dad's name? Like you let Sorry, there's my.
No, you're
Somebody needs to go pick up my kids.
He got 2 different names.
I hope their mother is picking up their kids.
Oh Jesus.
You just hope. You think about like Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, obviously.
Cody could, like, I really want Cody to win this.
I do too, and it's. But if you remember the thing that was before NXT was like FCW,
Yeah.
whatever their developmental was in Florida. Joe had this killer gimmick where he just didn't care. He was a wrestler who just didn't care, was only doing it because his dad was famous. But when you really pushed him, he became he became an unbeatable wrestler who would win. So he'd just be disinterested, and then all of a sudden you'd piss him off and he'd win. It was sort of like Orange Cassidy in a bit.
He was here yesterday. We have a photo with him.
Oh, so did I. Did you do that? Did you do that? I got the sunglasses on and did the thumbs up.
Those belts are heavy, by the way, aren't they?
Oh my god. Yeah, that was like Orange didn't let me hold his, but the other half of the Acclaimed.
Bowens?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anthony Bowens goes, here, put it on. I'm like, no way. Because I walked up and I'm like, because some guy's like, who are you? I'm like, this is one half of the Acclaimed. And I go, scissor me, daddy. And he did the whole thing. So he's like, here, hold my belt. I'm like, duh.
Just to finish off, we've got Luke Walsh says, I like the Table 50-50 pack. They have chips and crisps. Luke Walsh says, teabag good, teabagger bad. And Shane McGillicuddy says, hope my name doesn't derail things. I love the internet. Adam Rank, one word answer before I get the next video up here. Who's going to win the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Chiefs.
Oh no!
like that.
You have to do that. But if you don't do that, you're not that good.
We've got we can take our prediction as gospel here, by the way, with your record.
There's Brossy right
Oh,
there.
just take this.
Pick
right,
a card, yeah.
shout
It's
out to
a
this
quick
guy,
fire
man.
question, so
guy's
you can read it. and
He's
answer it.
giving us
It's not a
words.
magic
There we
trick,
go.
don't worry.
My guy.
Tom,
Favorite super
Who wrote these?
come on.
super dad moment?
Super
Bowl memory.
Memory.
Moment, sorry.
Favorite super dad moment.
Yeah.
Super dad moment. Please give us a super dad moment and also.
Yeah.
I don't know if this counts because I don't want to take credit away from the girls, but I coached my daughter's 10U soccer team this year. We were 1-2-1, and I'm like, we're struggling. And we had good players. I'm like, this is probably my fault. Made a couple of changes, made a couple of adjustments. We won 5 consecutive games to finish top of the table. So we got that crown. And they're like, this isn't the Premier League. You got to play a tournament too. You're like, son of a bitch. We went out, won that tournament without allowing a goal. And so
Shutout.
and I'll sit here, by the way, the photo here. Damn it.
Just while you're getting the photo, Adam, there's a comment from Simon Kennedy. What does Adam think of the name Michal Amara-Hajimic?
What do I think of?
Of the name Michal Amara-Hajimic?
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a solid name.
Yeah.
That's the photo?
Yeah, that's a photo of my
Nice.
daughter and me.
After
we
she's
took-
adorable.
Thank you.
Did you take it to WrestleMania last year in SoFi?
No. The kids weren't really into it.
They're
So
like,
it
it's
was
so childish, Dad. It's not real. And you're like, it's so real to me, Dad.
So real. They actually, you know what? I want to get a chance to talk to Darby because my boy would do
Darby
coffin
Allin?
drops
Yeah.
all the time. To the point, like, I can't let him watch it. But he really loved Darby. He still loves Darby Allin. I will, my favorite Super Bowl moment, though, is 2006. And the game ended disappointingly. And it's the Devin Hester touchdown return. It's one of the last Super Bowls where people were taking photos with actual cameras, so all the lights were going up. Kickoff of the Super Bowl. He returns it. I was in Las Vegas, actually, watching it here at a bar, and I was wearing my dad's starter jacket. My dad had recently passed away, so I was wearing his Bears starter jacket. And the table, with like a table full of Tecatis, got flipped, and it just got soaked in beer. But for that moment, that one moment in time, and if you live in moments, like, there was no greater elation of that. Like, you almost felt invincible. Like, we're going to do. And then Peyton Manning, people forget this. Peyton Manning then throws an interception. And you're oh my God, what are we doing? See, I'm just doing what I was saying that I didn't want people to do.
This is class. You have to realize here, we're going to be in the middle of nowhere next week in the countryside going, do you remember that time we were chatting to Adam Rank at a table in a convention center in Las Vegas?
This
like,
is...
Like this guy right here. Who's it?
Yeah.
Do you know
Is that?
I don't know.
This is a huge moment for
Brandon Pern? No, it's not Brandon Pern.
Oh, is it?
It's not.
You know what's funny is I was talking to Tom Grossi today about his award, Fan of the Year, which is well deserved. We love Tom. I love 3 Packers fans. He's one of the 3.
I like the second one.
Are you in there?
Fucking
A.
Oh, if only this man knew the quote tweets that I have said to his tweets, he would not be talking to me right now. But
I love it. I gotta go now. I want to go investigate. I love it. Okay, so 4 guys. So congratulations.
Thank
You're now
you.
the 4th.
I've made the cut.
You're the 4th horseman. I'm proud of him. I go, the first time that he posted that he was up for Fan of the Year, I thought it was a joke. I was like, is he doing a bit? Like, what's Grossi doing now? Because I could see it. And then I asked him, I go, when this all started happening, did you think this was Perna doing it? Because I would not have, until I was on this stage last night, I would have been like, when are they pulling the rug out from under me? Like, there's no way this is a chance. You know what? I'm going to ask the Bears. Now I'm pissed. I'm like, the Bears should put me in. Like, hey, Bears. Like,
the Broncos should put Perna.
100%.
And you know what the funny thing is, people, the amount of help he gave me 2 or 3 years ago before any of this started is nuts as well. These lads are decent. Like I mean, you're saying Tom's come up to you and shot.
Oh yeah, Tom's a legend.
Good guys like yourself. Just going, yeah, let's go. Here.
Yeah.
10 o'clock tonight, Rira, Harp. Yeah, sound good?
Where at?
Rira.
It's like in Mandalay.
Are you guys saying here?
I don't know what we're doing.
Can we do 9 Fine?
Potentially.
Midnight, Piano Bar,
I have a
Harris.
call at 6 o'clock in the morning, but potentially.
None of that matters. I didn't say 6 a.m. I said midnight.
We will text you. Adam,
do you have my number?
We'll get it.
Can you get it? Yeah. Please. I want to get it.
No, we will. Like, if I'm free, I got to work tonight, but there's also an international party in like 2 hours I got to run. But right now, people really enjoyed this.
Did they enjoy it?
Yeah, man.
Because I forget I know that I want to go back. You know what's funny is I want to go back and listen to the first time we were on. I want to get sometimes when you're on stage telling jokes, you're like, oh, like I forgot how I worded that. And if I had touched you so much that you really liked that story, I want to go back and listen to it. And I actually want to start using it in my act. I'm actually putting together a comedy special. Oh. This is swear to God, this is definitely sincere. And thanks to David Njoku for giving me the title of it, being Adam Rank, That Guy Sucks, is going to be the title of my comedy special. And so, no, 100%. But I want to go back and listen to that story. I didn't realize I told a yarn.
I have a feeling that we're going to get you over for a show sometime as well. I think we could go to Antrim or Belfast or something. Maybe you get down south as well and see.
I'd love it. Yeah, definitely want to go.
We get maybe team up with Harp and see the crack. I mean, Paul Pops.
Come on, Harp.
So we'll see. Man,
your number 1 American fan is right here.
Thank you so much. We're going to go straight to an interview with Matt Hamilton from FanDuel.
Oh my God, I love Matt Hamilton.
Lovely guy. Great crack as well. Here's Matt, and we'll chat to you soon. Adam,
I can't believe it.
Thank you guys.
It's actually ridiculous, and I'm sort of sad that it's the last day on Radio Row. You can hear the noise behind us and the sheer pandemonium, and everyone's very, very busy, but one guy is very busy. I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you haven't got loads of grey hair. Like, I'm really, really impressed. Matt Hamilton, FanDuel, also part of the Kay Adams Show, among many other different things, up in Adams. So, what's the crack, Matt? How you doing?
Oh man, it's been a great week. It's great to be here, and I do have some greys peeking through on this beard, so it is
good,
happening.
Man. You're looking good. I mean, it's funny because this is turning into like a yearly like Friday thing. Yeah, man. I'll talk to you on Friday. How do you power through the week? Because people, if you've never been here, folks, it's full on in a very positive way. It's very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and you hit on that. It's so positive. It's all great. We've had such an incredible lineup of guests this week. Had C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love today, Daniel Jones and Eli Manning were together. Sean Payton sat with them, which was unplanned, but was amazing. But yeah, it's just, the energy here, it keeps you going. No matter how tired you get, no matter how stressed you get, worn down, it keeps you going. And yeah, we're just very lucky that we've been able to
I'm gonna
do what
put
we've
you
done
on the
this
spot
week.
here.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite guest?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
Who was the most fun on set, I should say?
Who's the most fun on set? Cam Jordan is always the most fun. He just got on the couch and just laid down and, started talking shit about everybody. Jordan Love, I was really interested today to talk to CJ Stroud and Jordan Love. We've never talked to them before. Obviously both young quarterbacks that coming off incredible years, and Jordan Love just... He has it.
Yeah.
Just the point. I was interested to see what he'd be like. He was so comfortable. Like, he's embracing the moment, I think, embracing the spotlight that he's under, and I think it's only going to go up from here for him.
We won't have to crack with you now, but speaking of those two, if you had to pick an early MVP favourite that isn't one of the obvious ones, and it was between those two, who would you go for next year?
That's a great
Honors
question.
was last night.
Huh?
I mean, there's a year. I'm joking.
Yeah.
12 hours.
I did say early.
Congrats to Lamar, by the way.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I would go with Jordan Love. I think they're going to add another piece to that receiving core for him this offseason, and I could really see him elevating things to another level, because also you think about it, how young the weapons were around him. Those guys should only get better. He's only going to get better. I think we're going to see some pretty special things out of him next year. Out of both of them, but if I had to pick, I'd say Love.
You're hoping that you see something special out of Trevor Lawrence. You're a Jags fan.
Yes, I am.
Generational, is that fair to say anymore? I don't think so. We were supposed to call him generational by now. It's going to be a tough off-season for him when the belief isn't quite there anymore.
Yeah, and I think, we talked to him earlier this week too, and, it's not the sexy thing to do. It's, it feels like, but it's just the truth. The injuries this year were beyond anything a quarterback has dealt with and played through. The ankle, the knee, the shoulder, the concussion, they were all piling on top of each other, and I think that had a lot to do with what we saw. Because remember, last year, what he was able to accomplish last year, we saw what he's capable of. When he was healthy this year before the injuries set in, that game against the Bills in London, he was phenomenal. Him and Joe Burrow were the only quarterbacks in the Bills' last 28 games to throw for 300-plus yards on that Bills defense. And so I think, he wouldn't make the excuses with the injuries, but you could tell talking to him, like, it was a significant factor. I think they have to figure things out with the play calling. I'm a little surprised Press Taylor is back. That's going to be an interesting story to watch, but I'm still a believer in Trevor and what he can do going forward, for sure.
The 1 year that we collectively as a brand decided to fly in and fly to London, first pit and last pit, it worked really well, didn't it, Marcus?
Oh, man.
But the 1 year,
that
one year that you were both, like, I know Will met you and Kay having pints. I was like, oh my God, we've missed the crack, because we could have had a bit of crack. I remember, Mark, me and you doing a video from Tottenham the morning of the Bills Jags, just having the crack and having a bit of fun. And that was how did you find that experience at Tottenham? Because it's your team playing for a start, but Bills Mafia were loud in that game, and then they lost the game as well. And you can see that advantage of Jacksonville having the two. I don't know if Jacksonville can play the Vikings or the Bears. I haven't looked at their schedules offhand, but
the Bears, they can
play the Bears.
Look,
we have no affiliation with the NFL whatsoever, but I'm just going to say I wouldn't be surprised if Jags got two again,
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all. It seemed to be, big success for them. I mean, the game was phenomenal, as you said. Bills Mafia was incredible that week. The crowd was so loud. I feel like every time that was my third time going out to London for one of these, and every time First in Tottenham.
Okay.
And but every time it just gets elevated and elevated and elevated. It feels like the Super Bowl out there. Like you feel that energy, and the crowd is so good. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there's just more and more fans every time that we go out there. More and more local fans. And it's, I mean, I can't wait to go back. Hopefully we get to go back next year. I can't wait. It's been.
How would you rate that stadium? I mean, you've been to a few. Like, it's insane when you're at it.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, I would put it up there with any NFL stadium that we have. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It has a real NFL feel to it, actually, compared to other stadiums around Europe. It's really designed with that in mind, and it shows.
The outdoor press
it really
box
does.
is nice. Like the outdoor press box is nice, unless somebody throws a beer down. Which happened a couple of years ago.
It works in our favour, because the guys that do shoot up the T-shirts, it always comes up to the press section. I'm like, you need to realise that it's the press that you're giving the T-shirts to the whole time. It's like, I was not copped up by now. That game that you're saying in particular was massive, because it was the Bills Mafia and because it was the Jags going back to back. it was electric. But today, just this morning, 45 minutes before we record this, it was actually announced Madrid is getting a game in 2025. By deduction, you can almost say that it's going to be the Miami Dolphins themselves, and the Bears actually have the marketing rights in there. With the Bears giving up a home game to be in London, I would presume Miami is going to be the game in 2025.
You've seen Peter O'Reilly's face. Wow. And look, congrats to the NFL. But somebody asked him that it's an AFC year in 2025. I mean, yes, that did I look.
Let's put 2 and 2 together there.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm presuming you and Kay would love to fly to Madrid.
Oh my God.
Have you been to Madrid before?
I have not.
All right, I'm just going to say it now. I can't speak on behalf of these boys. My mate, shout out to Gavin, shout out to Lauren as well. I'm like, do you remember Hitch by Will Smith? I feel like I got them together. But they lived in Madrid for 5 years, and I used to go over maybe 3 or 4 times a year. It is the best city in Europe for nightlife. You will not make it home.
Really?
I'm putting it out now.
Wow.
So, but that stadium looks unreal as well. Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. But so you be like, you're obviously buzzing. Would you be over in Madrid? Are you game for it?
I mean, I'm going to make the pitch. I'm sure Kay's going to want to do it. So, you know, and that was the great thing this year when Kay was like, you know, I really want to go to London this year, and it was like a month before the game, FanDuel was just like, all right, let's make it happen. And that's what's been so cool about working with them. They've been so supportive of anything that we want to do. We did a 9-team training camp tour this year, too. And Kay was like, I just want to get, like, a bus, and we can just drive around and go to these training camps. Like, sure, why not? Let's do it. And supported us and let us do it.
It's the evolution of that show as well. I remember you used last year in Phoenix. It was not new, but it was quite new from Kay going from NFL to FanDuel.
Yeah.
You can see it, the share market. We walked past last night whenever you were away. I tried to get him to take that big purple hat, he wouldn't do it. But it just, the studio's class, you know, and fair play to all of you for, I know it must be an awful lot of work you're putting in there behind the scenes, and you can see it, Mark, can't you?
Yeah, 100%. And just talking about the fans and stuff like that, Spanish fans, do you see them getting in contact with you, say, on social media, or any fans that are non-domestic? Which ones do you kind of stand out to you?
The ones that, I mean, the British fans, the UK fans have been, I've seen that growing every year that we go, and even just from all over Europe, German fans coming in, obviously Irish fans coming in, but the fan base I think I've seen growing the most is in Latin America. You know, had a bunch of fans from Mexico and media members from Mexico come up to me today that I didn't expect. Peru, all over South America. I see it really growing there more and more, and I think that game in Brazil is going to just ramp that up even more.
Friday night, Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be, I'm pretty sure we'll be, I have a feeling we're going to be there for that.
How are we going to tell our partners about Brazil on Friday night? It's not going to happen, is it? Week 1 as well. Imagine watching kickoff on a Thursday night in the plane, flying into Sao Paulo. The thing about that stadium as well, Matt, is it's smaller, but I'm really intrigued to see how the Brazilian people, because they deserve a game. They're huge.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be special. And the fact that Philly's playing, Jalen Hurts, week 1 after everything this season. There's your next 6 months of your show, just. Are you going to go to the draft or combine, or is that the plan? Or?
Draft, it looks like we're going to be there. We don't have our plans cemented yet, but I think we'll be there. I think we'll be in Green Bay for it. And we'll be going to the Kentucky Derby right after that, too. So it's going to be, we did that for the first time last year. We were in Kansas City for the draft, went right to the Kentucky Derby. And I was so focused on the draft, I wasn't thinking about the Derby at all. And then when we got there, I'm like, wow, like, this is maybe the coolest event ever. Like, it was really special. So I'm excited for that. And it's the 150th Kentucky Derby this year, too. So it's going to be, they're going to take things to another level, I'm sure.
By the way, we might go back to a bit of football talk. What do you think is going to dominate the next few months as we go ahead here into the off-season? Aaron Rodgers is going to be 3 straight, it seems, that we're going to be like, what are we going to get from him this year?
Yeah, there's going to be, the Rodgers saga, there's always something coming out of that, for sure. I think the Cowboys and what they do from here, because obviously they didn't make the changes that a lot of people expected. They have to figure out what to do with Dak's contract, because I don't think they're keeping that $60 million cap hit on the books for next year. So I don't know. Do you extend him after what you saw? I think that's going to be a big storyline that we're going to see. the Bengals and what they're doing, because obviously a lot of cap space, but a lot of things that they have to figure out between T. Higgins hitting free agency, but also Jamar Chase's contract extension. So there's going to be a lot of big storylines going on here. And obviously, depending on what happens on Sunday, I think if the Niners do lose this one, they've thrown everything at the wall. They've done everything you can do. I think that's going to be the next storyline we're going to see with them is, how do they get over that hump? Do they stick with Purdy? Do they, there are going to be people asking those questions. I personally, I love what Purdy's shown. I think he's proven he can be a franchise quarterback. But if they don't win this one, those questions are going to come up.
But that's insane that we're actually saying that. Just do us a favor. All those things you just mentioned, text me them in bullet point form, and that's us for the next 6 months.
Do you know what, though? When you say that, though, it also describes the Buffalo Bills. They've thrown everything. They've had everything correct. It's like, is it just Sean McDermott has gotten to an elite level, but not a Super Bowl caliber level?
Yeah, and they have a lot of huge questions that they're going to have to answer now. Obviously, what's going on with Stephon Diggs, what they do with that Von Miller contract, because he's barely even playing anymore. He can't even get on the field. There are a lot of questions that are going to have to be answered there, roster-wise, because now this is when the Josh Allen contract starts kicking in. So they're going to have to start sacrificing some pieces, and that's why I think this one hurt especially, because this was the peak of their window, and now it's starting. It never fully closes, but you're in that mode now where you have to kind of retool on the fly, and it's not going to be, you're not going to have as good a team as you had this year.
It is quite an aging roster as well, particularly on defense, so there will be some turnover. Yeah. Do you think Sean McDermott is going to continue calling plays? I know it's in question right now. And how hot do you think his seat is going into the season? Yeah,
I mean, that's, I do think it's heating up. I think we do probably see him continue calling plays. I don't know that was the issue with it. They had so many injuries defensively. I think that had a lot to do with it. But I personally liked the more aggressive style that he employed, whereas we saw Leslie Frazier was more like, I'm going to sit in my zones, I'm going to rush for. McDermott was more aggressive, and I liked that. And I think it worked well. But again, when you lose as many pieces as they lost as the season dragged on, it's tough. It's tough to keep it going. And they were still right there. I mean, Tyler Bass makes that field goal. Who knows what happens in that game? So, and I think that's the frustrating part too, because there's no easy answer. There is no easy fix. It's moments here and there in these games that, dictate your entire legacy and how you're defined. And that's what makes the NFL what it is.
Pick a card, Tim?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, boy.
So we've
what am I in
quick
for?
fire question here.
You're on the spot now. This is it.
If you'd like to pick a card and answer the question that you get.
This is
Bigger gambler, Reed or Shanahan?
I presume on the field is what we're
going
for here.
On the field,
who's
yeah.
on the wall at the tables?
We can go both.
On the field. Well, on the field, I think it's been Andy Reid, and I think there's something that came to with that, getting that first Super Bowl finally after all these years, that's loosened him up a little bit, and has him in his bag and willing to be as aggressive as possible in big moments. And that's the thing that's the biggest question I think I have in this game is, will Shanahan be that gambler? Because we've seen him do it in the regular season throughout his career and get super creative. And we've seen him in some of these, in Super Bowl 54, get tight before halftime. We've seen it really every playoff. I go back to the Cowboys game that they won leading into half last year, got really, really conservative. This past year against the Packers, they had the ball with 2.5 minutes left in the first half and basically sat on it. We're just playing to kick a field goal. Moody misses. That could have been, if they lose that game, that's the moment we're coming back to. So I want to see the gambling Shanahan. I want to see the aggressive Shanahan here. So I do think that could end up being the determining factor in this game.
Wow. One word to finish. Who wins?
Niners.
I'm going with it.
It's becoming a rare pick all week, so it is.
Our picks are coming up at the end of the show today. All we ask, Matt, is that you text us or DM us the location of the party after. Hey, shout out to you for since this has started, you've been incredible support. Shout out to Kay as well, when she's up the walls busy. So we'll get Kay at some point. Maybe in Dublin for an NFL game at some point in the future.
That would be incredible.
Matt, Grimmy Margaret, thank you so much. Enjoy the off-season. Hope you get a bit of time to relax and talk to you soon.
No, thank you guys so much for having me.
I have to hit end. Hey everyone, we're live again. That's right. That's not Matt Hamilton. That's Derek Carter just sitting there chilling out, eating his wee potato. Oh my God, we roll on. An hour and 20 minutes in. We still 2 interviews left. We're also going to hear now in a second from the Irish faithful. There's a couple of interesting questions. Luke's saying he's off. He's going to win a bet. Luke, enjoy the Super Bowl if we're not chatting to you, mate. Thank you. Fred actually gave a really good question. What's your Super Bowl pre-game dinners? Bacon and cabbage. I had bacon and cabbage last night.
Is that like a yearly tradition for you?
Bacon and cabbage?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No, like what would you eat before the game? Like what would you...
Sorry, the heads are
Whatever's
way
in the press
over
box.
here. Whatever's in the press box, yeah.
Before the Super Bowl, I've no routine. No, geez, Fred, you give me too much credit if you think I plan my life ahead like that.
Give us something.
Bit of pizza.
Pizza, yeah.
Order in a bit of pizza.
7-Eleven?
No. God, it took me a couple of days to get
forget,
up that one.
those chicken
landed
wings.
into America, and the first thing I seen was, lads, I've bought 2 slices of 7-Eleven pizza, just a heads up. Anyway, we've got a couple of, we're going to try and put a couple of videos on here. We've got one from the Irish Faithful. We've got a couple from the Irish Faithful. Here's the first one. Here we go.
Hey Mick, it's Collie here, co-founder of the Irish Faithful, the San Francisco 49ers supporters club based here in Ireland. We are the largest supporters club of any NFL team in Ireland, and we are immensely proud of that, so go Niners. Firstly, I'd like to say a massive well done and congratulations to the Pro Football Ireland team. I've been over in Vegas this week, the coverage has been absolutely amazing. Secondly, on behalf of the Irish Faithful, I just want to say a massive thank you. And thank you for the continuous support you've given this group over the years. It's been highly enjoyable, and you've made it as such. So thank you very much. Now, before I do my Super Bowl predictions, I just have to say that the Irish Faithful do have a Super Bowl watch party this Sunday. So give the Irish Faithful a follow on Twitter, X, Instagram, all the details are there. We have a great contingent of the group going in. Plans to be epic. Now, my Super Bowl predictions. An Irish Faithful favourite, Juwan Jennings, is going to score a touchdown this weekend. To round up a fantastic season where he was announced Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey will also be the Super Bowl MVP. With that, the San Francisco 49ers are bringing home a long overdue Lombardi trophy. The 49ers are going to win 31-17 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Bang, bang, Niner
That's high score.
It was live. Right, we've got one more from Owen as well. And Mark, you know who Owen is. Yeah, he's obviously...
I've shouted out the boys a few times, I have to say.
No, it's not from Owen, it's from Mark, who's Mark's been at all the events as well. Here's Mark's pick.
Hey Mick, Mark here from the Irish Faithful fan club. I hope you're having a great time with the team over in Vegas, looking at some of the content you're doing, and it's been cracking over the week so far. Getting serious now over the next few days into the weekend as the big show is going to kick off. Predictions for the match is Christian McCaffrey touchdowns, Juice touchdowns, Juwan Jennings touchdowns, and an emphatic 49ers win. Hopefully legends like this will be made on Sunday in Vegas for the 49ers franchise, but either way it's going to be a hell of a ride. Have a good one. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Shout out to Collie and shout out to Mark and shout out to all the lads from the Irish Faithful. There is a Chiefs Irish group. The lad is Pierce in Belfast, but he's went rogue over the last 2 years, probably because he's had too much success. Shout out to Pierce, but shout out to those boys. They've been a big support to us and appreciate Collie.
I've mentioned them, I know, on Today FM at least once, and I pre-recorded something for Q102 to coming up tomorrow, and I definitely mentioned that my pick was influenced by hoping that those guys have a bit of fortune.
Well, we're going to give our Super Bowl picks in a bit. We're going to bring in Cynthia Freeland now, and we're going to talk about what, lads?
Hey, this was a wide-ranging interview, but you know what? Cynthia is an absolute superstar, and she's so complimentary of the fans, and that's why she wanted to come on. So yeah, I mean,
So, without further ado, I will turn into Cynthia Freeland.
Well, you know, it's like you know, you got to give me more time than that.
Okay. Without further ado, Dara Carraher has now become Cynthia Freeland.
Good Lord. In case you've been living under some sort of rock, the Super Bowl is this Sunday between the Chiefs and the 49ers. And while I look at Aidan Hutchinson eating chicken wings, I can't believe I just said that, we are absolutely delighted to welcome in Cynthia Freeland. Cynthia had you on a Zoom call, I think, during the pre-season last year.
Yeah.
Here, one of our highest performing pre-season videos. It was with the Detroit Lions, Mark, wasn't it?
Shout out to Simon Kennedy, who has a Jets flag and is such a fan of Cynthia that he was like,
He
could you get a
sent
picture
questions
with
as well,
Cynthia? I was
yeah.
like, she's a Lions fan though, man. I don't have to want that one.
To be honest with you, for the most part, I like most teams, right? It's funny how after you, and I'm sure you guys have done it working in this industry too, it's like, well, I really love CJ Stroud. I hated the Texans before. Now I like, I love the Texans. Like, just total, like, I love D'Amico Ryans. Like, my college friend was drafted the same year as him. My friend played for the Giants. His name is Matthias. It's just like the whole world is very small. So you just start like liking people more than you like specific team, other than my Lions.
Well, your team would be the Lions. How do you feel this week? They should be here, right? Like, how's that been?
You know, I don't really think nothing should for me. They were they were really smart in the beginning of that last game because they were not favored. They were at least 7 or 7.5 point underdogs, like around a touchdown underdog. So you have to come out swinging. If you are David, you got to swing and you got to out strategize Goliath. So to me, it's not so much that, they should or what. It's sad that they're not, of course, but on some level, it's like, I didn't expect them to win a home playoff game in my lifetime. So there we go.
But if you get to the half against, and I know I'm digging here now. If you get to the half, you're thinking, because I was thinking, oh my God, we're going to Vegas and we're going to talk about Dan Campbell. And I'm buzzing the Niners are here. But when you're traveling, it's going to be bad now. For me, when you're traveling halfway across the world for the second year in a row, and we're so fortunate and we love it. I would love to talk about something over the Mahomes. Yeah. So having the Lions would have been awesome,
Yeah, but like at the same time, it's like, it'll be even better when it's their moment, right? Like,
which will happen, I think.
It will. I think eventually. I mean, it can, hopefully. but look, at the same time, it's like, I mean, I'll out myself here. At the end of that game, I was at the Tampa Bay game when they won, and I walked into the press conference. You're supposed to be like composed and polite, like all these like actual journalists like typing away on their computer. I'm like, who wants to take shots? Like, I was so inappropriate. So I was like, this hasn't happened.
Would you have been able for it? Because Ireland in the rugby this year, in the Rugby World Cup, we thought we were going to get to the final and win it all. I wasn't able for the game that they got knocked out in. And I'm not one of those fans. I'm pretty rational.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd have been able for the Super Bowl, the emotions that go along with it?
I think I would have, because I really, I remember watching Patrick Mahomes and scouting him, and then watching him that first year sit and play in the one game, and then watching it. So I have this love for them too, because especially as you're sort of growing up in this industry, it's like that was one of the very first draft classes that, Jared Goff was actually the first one that I really on TV talked about. So I like them, but none of these are my teams that I don't like. You know what I mean? So it's I don't really have any negative emotions about it. Maybe that sounds too and I want world peace, and I'd like for everyone to be not hungry. But it's true. I like all these people. They're good people.
You mentioned the draft there briefly. Brad Holmes obviously has done a phenomenal job as GM at the Lions. Normally when you see these head coach and GM combos come in, it's like we have a 3-year plan. It's been 3 years now. Dan Campbell said it'll be tough to get back to this position.
Yeah.
How do you think they'll approach this offseason? Do they just reload and go again?
It's interesting because they've got a number of restricted and unrestricted free agents that aren't. Some of them are premier, but most of them, the majority, are ones who are better than they're good role players who play better in their system than other places. So it may be advantageous because perhaps they won't command in a free market what they might get had they been these it's not Amon-Ra St. Brown, thank God, right? It's not Sam Laporta, thank God, right? It's not Jameer Gibbs. So they're young enough where they could reload in some specific areas and be great. I just want that O-line to stay intact, because the O-line to me is the key to unlocking this whole mystery. They need to help at defense. You can't just have Aidan Hutchinson can't eat enough wings. I want to go see him after. He can't eat enough wings on his own.
The wings are sold out. I can't get them.
Well,
so he's Aidan Hutchinson. So.
If I'm Aidan Hutchinson, think about it. You could threaten them, be like, give me a wing. And they're probably not going to do it. Aidan Hutchinson, give me a wing. And they got to say yes. I'd find a wing, right? I'd go get a new one, find a new wing.
Yeah, speaking of that, man, though, Dan Campbell gets a lot of prop, really. Speak about him, obviously, like, he could be the face of the NFL in the next few years, or one of them, though. And it's like, especially being a Michigan boy,
it's cute.
It's nice, though, right? It's like, especially, like, the story is cool, but I don't know if it gets enough love.
Yeah, I think part of it also is like, you know, the Lions didn't have a great defense. Like, they still don't. Like, their defense isn't good. I'm not, like, I'm not giving away trade secrets here. But Aiden Hutchinson is good. And they're making great strides. But their corners still need help. Like, a lot of help. And the front will look better when the back gets helped, and they need another pass rusher. That will help the whole thing from stopping these explosive plays. So I think part of it is, like, they're like, okay, we got some years. He's starting off good, but, like, we got a ways to go here. We still got some runway here.
I think Mars could chicken wing stuck in his throat there.
I know.
Hey, I'm sorry, you know what? I hope I didn't blow anyone's eardrums up there. Like,
no, you did a good job.
You're grand. You're such a pro, Mark. I'm having a laugh here. Last day 5, cracked in a good way. You sort of answered the question there for this next one. Second year, the evolution of Aiden Hutchinson. I'm so excited to see what he can do going into this first year. I think we're going to talk about this in like July time, like a random Zoom call on the Tuesday night, but you must be pumped to see him. I know we're so long. This is the crap thing about the NFL in a good way. It's such a long off season. We have all this topic to talk about.
I know. It's interesting because it feels long, but it's not. The draft, like the combine, which is to me the sort of unofficial start of draft season, that's in 2 weeks.
And you'll be there.
2 weeks. Yeah, I'll be there.
There's 4. I have to say, there's 4 Irish guys, 3 GAA players, amateur Gaelic footballers, and a rugby guy going. So if you see them,
I will.
Say hello.
I will. I'll be like, give me a crisp.
I'm delighted that you brought up the draft, Cynthia, because I just read your mock draft just before.
People are loving that because they don't read. They don't read. Yeah, well, because they're not reading the way that I do it, right? The exercise is to, we haven't had free agency start yet, right? The league season starts mid-March, which means we don't know what the movements are yet. We don't see the Bears already having done anything that would lead us to think anything. So the whole point of the exercise is to start at a starting place and watch the evolution of it. It's not to be like, here's what I predict is going to happen. This is what would lead them to the most wins if they were choosing right now, given that there are a lot of free agents in the ether at the quarterback position. So it's not like, it's just not, do I think Caleb Williams will go first? Yes. It's in the article that I say yes. People don't read. They just look at the names. But the whole point is to look to see that they would be better served for any quarterback if they had a better O-line. And perhaps they'll address that in free agent. We don't know yet. We don't know any of it yet. So
thank you, Cynthia, for taking a different approach to things, because it is. It's like this group thing that happens, especially in the off season.
Yeah.
It'll literally start on Monday.
Yeah.
You know?
It'll start 15 minutes after the game's over on Sunday. Are you playing a game?
We're going to play a game here.
There's a game here. Oh,
these things are often good.
Feel free to get up and walk away. I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking.
These things are good in the moment when I think about writing them. And then they come out and sometimes they're hazy.
No, I love
the
it.
idea is,
I love it. I love it.
The idea is people from Ireland will understand these. We have some...
Love it.
I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, what?
We have some weird fairs and festivals and competitions.
Have you ever been to Michigan?
Oh, yeah.
We've got some weird stuff. You know what mud bogging is?
No.
Look that one up.
Oh, God.
It's when like a bunch of hillbillies.
What's it
bunch
called?
of mud bogging. Bunch of
Mud bogging.
hillbillies. They take a muddy lot.
Oh, wow.
And they make it muddier with more
What?
hoses, and then they
Cynthia,
try to
what
drive their trucks through it.
Cynthia, what's in under?
Welcome. Yep.
Here.
Mud bogging. Yeah, it's real. Congratulations.
We've been
now
outdone already.
Yeah.
We'll go with the first one. One of these is true.
Okay.
The Puck Fair. A wild goat is caught in the Kerry Mountains, brought to the closest village and called King Puck. King Puck is paraded in the town for 3 days and then brought back to the mountains.
Okay.
Or the Biggest Shamrock Fair. The Biggest Shamrock wins this Cork-based competition. The Biggest Shamrock is also considered the luckiest Shamrock, as the winner wins a whole host of prizes, including a year's supply of potatoes.
The Puck Fair is real.
You think the Puck Fair is real? You got it right. What?
Oh.
What gave it away?
Because, like, if I were trying to trick an American, I would put the other one as a Shamrock Fair, too.
Yeah. Let's see how
well done. Two
All right, they get harder. All right, let's go with the Listen to Varna Matchmaking Festival. This 160-year-old tradition sees around 40,000 singletons descend on a rural town in County Clare, hoping to find love.
Okay.
Or the Aaron Jumper Knitting Sweater. Do you know The iron jumpers.
Yeah.
The big, heavy, thick
Yeah.
ones. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
sweaters. I have a
Yeah,
note
yeah.
to call them a sweater.
No,
for
no,
this.
it's a jumper. I know what
You
it
know
is,
what
but
it
I'm
is?
like, this
Christmas
festival. Okay, keep going.
A fiercely competitive event where avid knitters compete to make the most jumpers in 24 hours. Completed jumpers must contain at least 3 kilograms of wool. That's 6.6 pounds.
Aaron Jumper Knitting Festival.
2-2.
The Listen Ireland Matchmaking Festival is true.
Lad, I'm from Tyrone. I don't know
I don't
about
even
the
know
Ireland
these
Matchmaking
answers.
Festival.
Yeah, no, it's the wildest thing. People come from all
Cynthia,
over the
I
world.
would say the clue there is you tried too hard
feel like
to
I
go
met-
to minor details.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. That just it just seems a little boring. The other one seemed more exciting.
Oh,
The next one's interesting.
Will we go
Okay.
with Europe's? This is the ploughing championship. For
Okay.
those listening at home,
Plowing
Europe's
champion. This
largest.
sounds naughty.
Oh my god!
This sounds like so.
Let's see how naughty this one is.
You got it.
Europe's
very
largest outdoor event. Over 250,000 people attend and watch farmers compete to plough the best field and see the
Field.
newest range.
They're plowing a field. Got it.
We cleared it up. And
Perfect.
see the newest range of John Deere police tractors up close.
What? Okay.
Are you John Deere or Massey Ferguson in terms of your
But like,
tractors?
isn't John Deere from like they come from like Illinois or like whatever? So the other one's real.
The Milk the Cow Championships.
Yeah.
Held in Galway in the first week of August, every year tens of thousands descend on Ballybrit to watch the finest of farmers milk the highest pedigree of
Yeah.
cows. It's free milk by day and creamy pints
That one.
by night.
Yeah, that one.
The Ploughing Championships is
The
real.
plowing chip.
We
I'll
are
tell you what,
avid farmers.
Cynthia,
Listen.
we're getting her on during the plan
I'm
next
gonna
year.
be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. The plowing, there's a different plowing championship. I think it happens in Vegas.
It's, no, it's in the Listed Varna Matchmaking Festival with the same
List
thing.
of Verna,
What
got
if I
it.
told you there was a northern edition of the Plowing Championships called the Balmoral Show, the exact same thing, and for some reason
People love
there's
it.
two different shows. Oh, Colchies, we call it Colchies, like farm country,
Yeah, yeah.
country boys,
Yeah.
Colchies.
Hey, before we're not going to do the last one, but the last one I had ready was one that I think that people behind the
Oh, yeah, we're
at
not
home
doing
would
that.
love. Would be the splitting the G competition. Everyone at home knows what splitting the G is. It is not real,
Right.
but we have.
Oh,
Do you know
it
we
is
never
real.
point to
It is
Guinness? Do you know we never point to Guinness? Or well, you
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
So the logo
yeah,
on the glass, say it's like here.
yeah, yeah.
People have to in one gulp split the indent
Okay.
on the G.
Split the G.
So
Okay.
it's not an actual competition, but I think that will get play at home. If we're able to have that in Crow Park once a year, you're going to get a turnout
See the
for that.
crack. Before Jason gives you a little mini card to pick very, very quickly, I know you probably can't tell us.
Yeah.
What's your score projection that you're going to have on NFL
23,
Network?
25, or 25-23 Chiefs.
And that will be on Network on
Yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like your score predictions are always kind of unusual numbers, isn't it?
Of course,
Really
because they're
stands out.
models. It's
Stats
done from a
based.
model. You run it a million times, so it
Our
averages.
picks, our picks come up at the end of the show, but we've one last.
Quick fire
Okay.
question to finish off.
As long as you don't do that. Chiefs.
Oh my God,
Oh.
the easiest one in the deck. Who will win?
Let's go again. Let's go again. Screw that.
Cynthia
I
Freeland.
screwed it up. Most likely team to be back next year. Chiefs.
Oh my God.
Bingo.
Said it
Cynthia, for people that aren't aware, obviously because they're thousands of miles away in Ireland, you've been waiting a while there, but we really appreciate it, but more so your support in social media, everything.
You guys are the best.
You are the best. Thank you so
No,
much
you
for
guys
your
are so
help
much
support.
fun. Thank you for teaching me about plowing.
And also, I can't believe we
I'm
went through
glad,
this.
I'm glad to learn about plowing
I
in
need to watch
Vegas.
this mud bogging video.
I cannot believe we went through this interview without talking.
Enjoy mudbogging. You're gonna look at these
Hey,
people.
we're going to be on Radio Row at the Mukbang Championships next year,
Yeah,
for real.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Just very, very finally, I can't believe we went through this 15-minute chat by not saying Henry Hodgson, shout out to
Henry.
Hank, let me go in and get a tour of your studio
Yeah.
In April. I didn't see
Go to
you.
the bathroom.
I didn't see you. What the hell's going on there?
It's insane.
It's like
Heated.
no,
It's a Japanese
it's
bathroom.
a robot.
Yeah, it cleans
I
you.
didn't know what to be at.
It's
I
a
was like,
weird. I don't want that at work. Leave that at home. I don't want that at
Well,
work. It's disgusting.
Cynthia wasn't there. Steve Weich was.
Yeah.
And Dan Hans' desk is an interesting conversation. We'll talk about it in a different way. Cynthia Freeland.
Hand Zeus, what are you doing? You're getting called out here in
What
Ireland,
are
my
you
friend.
joking? He's awesome. He came on for
He's
a live
best.
show with us in
He's
Dublin last week. Cynthia, we'll do this again. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Chat to you
having
soon.
me.
We're live right now, Dara. So thank you for that, Dara. We're back in. Good man. I tried to warn Mark Hogan. We've one final guest in Radio Row this year before we get our Super Bowl picks and get some questions in. Mr. Jason Bell. Be a Super Bowl without running into a dairy boy.
Yeah,
of course. Jay Bell, man. Hey, what's the crack? How you doing?
Oh, what's the crack, man? You know, when I hear that, I just feel like I'm home, man. I love it, man. Everything's good, man. This is just, it's so much energy up here. I'm seeing so many people I know, people I played with, played against, everybody, man. It's just I love this, man. This atmosphere is unreal, and it gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, how would you rate it, Vegas over the other few radio rows?
You know, every one gets better, seriously. And all the ones I've been to, each year you see something else. I mean, you see all these networks here, and they're building up these stages, and they get bigger and bigger. I will say this, Vegas has a lot of room. So, you know, I mean, look at these screens these people got up here. So it's everything you want, man. It's what the Super Bowl is, man. Big entertainment.
Of all the stars that we've seen here so far, who would you say is the biggest one that you've come across? Obviously, minus yourself.
You know what? For me, it's obviously NFL guys, and it's two players I really look up to. I see one of them all the time, Deion Sanders. Every time I see him, I love it. And then I saw Barry Sanders. Yeah. And I grew up wearing number 20 the first time I played organized football because of Barry Sanders. And he walked by, and I just put my two hands out, and I was just like, thank you. He's like, oh. I was like, nah, you did so much for me as a kid in this sport. And that for me was the moment, man. My childhood heroes.
I think we can all kind of piggyback on that. Like, guys that got me into the game, and even journalists. I love meeting the journalists, and I know at home people, the ATM boys and stuff. But outside of that, the likes of The Rock, would you get caught up in the hype?
Yeah, I saw The Rock, man. You just love what he is. He's a football player, right? I mean, a college football player, played professionally for a short time. So he's in his element right now. And just seeing guys that have transcended the sporting world like that, it gives all of us hope. So yeah, The Rock, man, he moves and he makes big splashes, big waves, man. I mean, one of the best entertainers in the world.
Obviously, we're your favorite Irish people, but your second favorite, Mr. Craig Doyle, joined us the other day.
Oh,
I don't know if you've watched that, but it's good. It's
Craig
good TV.
is fun, man. Craig is full of energy, insight, such a good dude. We're so lucky to be working with him. You know how I feel about my Irish brethren, so it's important to me, and I love it. But yeah, Craig's a special dude, man. He's just, there's nothing, live TV is tough. Yeah. Live games are rough. And in those moments, he shines. Like, it's not too big for him. You can see he was built for this, and he's always up for a good time, and he loves this atmosphere. He's so excited to do the Super Bowl, and it'll be a fun time with him.
Have you anything special prepared for Sunday, or is it just going to be business as usual? You know, anything special come out for the Super Bowl?
You know, it's business as usual because I'm so focused on the game. I'm like a player, right? I feel like doing that broadcast is a performance. I got to be on my A game. But what always happens is I want to get caught up in the moment just like you all, just like the viewer. So I try to make myself present. Like, I don't think about anything except what's happening at that moment, like lock into that. Because when I was a player, I thought about a lot of things, you know. Not every time I was on the field did I enjoy myself. And I said, I need to be like that. And now in the Super Bowl, even though it's all kind of stuff going on, I'm just focused on being in the moment and enjoying myself and letting it take care of all that. I'm very prepared, though. I'm ready to go.
Do you know, does having the Chiefs being back in it make it more easy or difficult? Because it's obviously we need fresher points. I know, Michael, you don't love that the Chiefs, just because, you know, you're trying to bring something new.
I wanted Baltimore, and I wanted Detroit in as well. I wanted, like, you imagine being here all week and talking about a Baltimore team that haven't been here in so long. I mean, never mind so long the Lions ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, narratives are easy, right, when it comes to new teams. And people like new, and I get that. But when we talk about greatness and we talk about these teams, especially in the parity in the NFL, you start to look at how do they repeat. And they repeat, they're here, and they're not the same. They're different. Now, you see certain players that are the same, but how they got here is different. And as we evolve as people, as humans, in whatever we do in life, with our family, our friends, we have to evolve. We can learn something from teams like this and how they've done it and how they stuck to whatever their process was to get back. That's the story we got to sell. That's what we get to see in the highest pressure situation you could possibly be in. And we get to watch Patrick Mahomes chase greatness. We had Tom Brady. You thought that would never happen again. Look at what we get with Patrick Mahomes. This could be something, if he doubles up, come on, man, he's chasing him.
FA just casually walked. I literally thought he was going to, like, bump me there for a second and be like, well, how's it going? You came to Belfast in September. We were saying off camera. It feels like 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes.
Are you up for coming around the island at some point?
Man, of course. Man, come on, man. That's home.
I feel like a little JBL Derry homecoming could be the thing.
I would love it. My daughter would be like, "Come on, man, chill out. You know, just you're too much. You know, what I'm saying go somewhere else. This is our sanctuary." But I love it. You know how I feel about my people out there, man. I just love it.
Shout out to the Vipers who are watching right now. PS2 walks past Mark. Patrick Sertan.
Yeah,
the Vipers, man.
Hey.
Yeah, I got to get back to one of their games.
We're going to get you out of here in a second, but before that, let's pick a card. There's a question on the other side of it, just a random one to do with the game.
All right,
and
well,
let's see what you
let's
think.
go with it. Let's see what you think.
Most team rushing yards. Who'll have most rushing yards in this game?
That's a good one.
You guys run around the press
Well,
box.
the 49ers are going to have to, if they have any chance of winning this game, and you got Christian McCaffrey. You got to roll with that. So I think it will be the 49ers, but I think Kansas City might have the most carries. They're going to keep handing it off.
Good question. Good
yeah.
answer.
Jason, we can't let you out of here without asking you who you think's going to win it.
Oh man, you know, at the beginning of the year, I picked these two teams to go. It wasn't a hard pick, you know. Good teams, good rosters. I wasn't on the line here, you know.
What happened in Belfast? Do you remember? We were all arguing about, was it the Browns?
I think it was Kyrie Elam, actually. It was something to do with the Buffalo Bills. And cut a promo on me, the crowd standing ovation for Jason. And I was like, I need to pull out of this cake.
Anyway, more importantly, you got home okay anyway. That panic. Do you happen to Neil Reynolds in Dublin?
What happened?
We brought Neil to Dublin on Saturday night. He wasn't doing the Steelers watch party. I think you guys were in London, and then Hannah and Phoebe were. Oh man, that would have been great crack if we were there. But
yeah.
So, but 9 o'clock comes the next morning. I get a WhatsApp from Neil, flights delayed. I'm like, oh Jesus. Oh, here we go.
Oh, when he had to come back and do the show on Sunday.
So I'm going, wow. Oh my God, Jesus could be sitting there by himself.
I would have been running the desk. we would have been okay. Then Neil would have just strolled on, and it would have been okay.
It would have probably, but the panic, the minute I found that he was on that plane,
you just felt so relaxed.
So we'll probably not do a Saturday night in the season.
No, I would never risk that.
Who have you got again? So Niners, Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs, man. Patrick Mahomes, when I look at games like this, I think about players. I think about moments. Who can come up big? Who can galvanize the team? Who can make a play when it's not there? It's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's so difficult, man. As much as I love this roster of the 49ers, it's going to be a competitive game, probably low scoring. Both of these defenses are going to really show up and show out. They got a lot of film on each other. They know who to stop. But when I look at it, when it comes down to that play, Patrick Mahomes.
Jason, I hope you enjoy the off-season. I know you guys will be back doing the pod every week, having a bit of crack as well. Thank you for your support this year. I know you were very, very busy, man. We massively appreciate it. The people of Ireland appreciate it as well, man.
I love what y'all doing, man. Keep it going. Ireland is so near and dear to my heart, man. Keep pushing it, man. We'll keep rolling with it.
See you in Derry soon. All the best. Jason Bell, folks. Jason Bell. It's time, boys. It's time. Here, what a show. Jesus Christ, Mark. As I just get ready for this, what a show. We've got a heap of questions. I put a tweet out this morning. There are live questions. We're going to try and get as many as we can, as quickly as we can. I'm going to go first to the faithful group. I'm going to say the following. I'm going to say, I'm in the wrong group. There's boys slagging me about Thierry Henry. Connor McSweeney, if Brock Purdy is a product of the Shanahan system, then why is Shanahan not winning the Coach of the Year every year? Somebody answer that.
You know, because it's nonsense. It is nonsense. It's because there's too much talent on the team, so the coach has to have useless talent. But apparently, when we learned that CJ Stroud is class, then, you know, it's all, if you have established players, right, then you can't win Coach of the Year.
It's just boredom as well. You know, people want to do face. Belichick would have had 20 in a row.
Stefanski getting it, I thought was a bit of a surprise, I have to say, because I had picked them, but based on the level of talent on that defense, I picked them to win that division. So yeah, they had horrible quarterback play at the beginning, then they had Joe Flacco. It's like, yeah, give Joe Flacco the Comeback Player of the Year award, but I don't know if Stefanski is the head coach for me, not over what happened in Houston.
Kevin Varley from the Irish Faithfuls. For you, Dara, we'll do another one with somebody else. Why does the NFL have part-time officiating crews? Surely $1 billion company can afford full-time.
I think
what a question.
That is a wild question. But I think the officiating in the NFL is overblown. Feels like every single year we say this is the worst year it's ever been. This is the worst year it's ever been. Yeah, it's not great. It's a very difficult job. I don't think it's overly incompetent. Like, you know, you're not every year, every sport the officials are complaining about. In the NFL, it's particularly bad, but yeah, I don't see much, like, I don't think it ruins the sport.
It's also a very technical sport.
Yeah,
like, that's the problem. It's very technical.
And I'm not sure how much extra time like if it was a full-time job and a referee could train more, I still think some of these decisions are a bit subjective, and it's just going to, people are going to be angry.
That's a better answer to
was
the
it Fred
actual
that gave me
question.
something recently about Bill Cowher going off on a referee back in the 90s, and they're talking about bringing back replay into the, and it's like the same arguments that were happening in the 90s are happening now, and the world goes round.
Joe Medic, what strategies do you think the Niners and Chiefs should employ to gain an edge in the game? If one person won't answer that, because I want to get as many questions as possible.
Well, the Niners, for me, stopping Travis Kelce with as best you can. Fred Warner will be huge in that regard. That's where it has to start in terms of stopping the Chiefs' offense.
Chiefs establish the run. That's what I need to see.
Ian Mulligan, start from you, Dara, all the way down. What has been the biggest pinch moment this week for each of us?
Oh, okay. Oh God, it's hard to even think of it. But, I think seeing The Rock, I'm a WWE fan, and unashamedly at that, literally being up on video and Roman Reigns as he's basically just standing there.
Head of the table.
Yeah, you're like Jesus Christ. So yeah, for me the WWE stuff was mental. Obviously, meeting all these people, shaking hands with Rap Sheet on opening night was like just wild. So yeah.
I had alluded to it earlier on in the podcast, but the access that we had to Jim Nance and Tony Romo and the way they spoke about Ireland, don't get me wrong, it is not lost on me getting to see all these players. It is my favourite thing, the NFL, getting to see all the journalists, but the way that they were so proud, and I mentioned you, Dara, the way that Jim Nance was so kind to you and just supportive of your career, he's never met you before. I just thought that was incredible to get that insight.
Opening night for me, it feels like so long ago now, but that experience being down in the field, wandering around, just amidst all the players and coaches, all the famous reporters you're used to watching and covering the league. That was, thrown in at the deep end right at the start of the week, and that was definitely a pinch me moment.
For me, it would be getting barred from WWE.
Yeah,
would be that. And then secondly, Jim Nance. I actually have to cry.
Yeah, Nance is up there.
One other thing, actually, I was talking to the ATM boys with you and walking up, and Dan goes, "Hey, Mark." I was like, that was also
that's amazing, dude.
Right, we got 2 more questions in. Alan Stafford said, "Can't wait for this." Thank you, Alan. We really appreciate everyone's watched this week.
Literally every single one.
Potter Donnelly from Desert Martin.
Desert Martin. Simon Matterson, shout out to him, great fella.
Desert Martin.
Desert
Martin, but if the Niners win, does Brock Purdy enter the elite category? P.S. I love Madden.
The narrative won't allow him to take it. Like, I hope that people will put more respect in his name.
Look at this.
Oh yeah,
look at this.
I love that, Grossi.
It will go on and on till the end of time because Brady couldn't even ditch it.
Oh yeah.
Tom Grossi is like, man, Derek Harger's like a celebrity here. It's like, it's
I'm not. Just Tom Grossi is a great man. He's time for absolutely anyone who interacts with him. Top man.
Gary Clark, who is a European football and boxing aficionado, didn't say where he's from, presumably it's like Belfast somewhere. How many touches do you see Pacheco getting? Will Reed script them heavily early on? I reckon they're going to rely on the run very early. I really do, man.
J Bell made a very interesting point saying that maybe the most rush yards will go to San Francisco, but the most touches will go to Isaiah Pacheco. They're just going to bang him on the ground, and we need to see that.
That's it. There has been a couple of games against the Ravens was one of them, and Chiefs sometimes come out and they will pass the ball 10 times straight, and it's worked for them in terms of getting a few early touchdowns. They will have to rely on Pacheco eventually. I think they will. A couple of times in Frankfurt as well, actually, for the Dolphins game, I remember, I think it was 9 straight passes to start the game, and it led to a touchdown, so I wouldn't rule that out either.
Just a big shout out, John Murray's coming. I got it on, lads. Enjoy the rest of the week, and of course the big game on Sunday. Congrats on a very successful week. Mark saying you've been class flying the flag for Ireland over there this week, lads. Just a big thanks to everyone that's watched us this week, this season. We're not done yet. We're going to sneak these boys in and do a final one on Sunday. Don't tell anyone. But just a massive thanks to everyone. It's been very hard getting comments, people in. Big thanks to all these lads, Connor, everyone around the. I forgot the lad's name.
Justin, Connor, Jacob, all massive.
All the lads. Here they are, all the lads, but it's time to make Super Bowl picks. It's time to piss somebody off. Dara,
starting with me.
We'll go all the way up here. But before we do it, let's do the college game day thing where everyone goes like this. No,
are you putting on the headgear at the end like your league coach?
No, God. We should have nicked the stuff, but then. Oh, Jesus. Next year. Next year we'll get a few helmets.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about you boys.
Hey,
Dara, Super Bowl. Who's going to win Super Bowl?
So my pick for the Super Bowl is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you get all caught up in this whole Radio Row thing that you kind of forget there's a game at the end of the day. Listen, it's funny how you can go as deep into the game as you want, but it ends up with I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, and that's kind of all there is to it. I'm surprised they're underdogs. I think it's more of a 50-50 than a 60-40 Niners in my opinion. So if I was a betting man, which I am, I would put money on the Chiefs.
Okay,
the 49ers have been the best team all year. I hope for all the Irish boys that they do win it. So I'm picking the 49ers, but I actually want to see the Chiefs win through implementing all that we've talked about all week. Not just to solidify what we've said all week and why we think they're going to win it, but like Dara said, betting against the Chiefs is so hard that I as a neutral, it sets up that I really am not offended by either of these teams winning.
So, hold on, I was texting my back. Who'd you pick?
I'm picking the 49ers because they've been the best team throughout the year. They have so many weapons, but I think that there's absolutely a way, because we've talked all week, that the Chiefs can win this thing because of
Mark Hogan? What?
That is not on the fence when I've given. Don't tell me I'm on the fence.
I'm saying you're covering all bases. I love it, Hoagie. I love it. Hoagie Bear to Jay Hayes. What about Jay Bell? Whatever. I was like, it's Jay Hayes.
It's Jay Hayes.
Jason squared right there.
Who have you got?
I was probably up till this morning. I've been saying 49ers all week, and the more I think about it, as we approach the big game, Mahomes, Purdy, I think that experience will stand to Mahomes. He's been there before. We chatted about it with Michael Bisping and how he'll be coming in with a bit more of a relaxed attitude. This is a big step. This is a big step for Purdy. He's coped. Yeah. He's coped well with the pressure so far. But
I would really take my football opinions from Michael Bisping. I think he's shy. He knows what he's talking about.
Chris Jones for MVP, by the way. I think we have a defensive MVP this year.
First Von Miller.
He'll pressure Purdy up the middle.
I think you need a Mahomes stinker though for that to happen. Which
but if they're establishing the run, maybe it is that they get like 3 rushing touchdowns.
I think if Mahomes does in any way gets over 200 yards or something like that.
His Super Bowl record is
and the man himself
pretty lackluster.
Well, so hold on. How many have we got for KC then?
2-1 KC.
I would actually say at that point CMC is going to be my MVP. Sorry, Michael's got to go with
this. No, you're sweet. You're more than welcome to say. I've been really on the fence with this all week. I came into the city. We both came in Saturday night. Jason came in as well. Dark came in Sunday, and I think you can never write off Kansas City. I know that as a Broncos fan, the AFC West is a kip at the minute for anyone unless you're KC, and it's just depressing. And every year it's the same thing. But the reality is, we are looking at a dynasty that's already been created. The question this week is, will they win? Will they won't? Will it be a dynasty? It's already a dynasty. The fact that Patrick Mahomes is how many Super Bowls now? 3 in 5 years?
This is his fourth year.
4 and 6.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Never mind what happens this Sunday. I think the biggest factor is going to be Brock Purdy. Does he go out on Sunday? Does he brick the bed? Or does he have a game? I hope to God that Brock Purdy does not throw a pick six or do something in the first quarter, because it goes south. We've flown halfway across the world. I want to see a half-decent game, but it's the last game for 7 months. My heart says the Niners, my head says the Chiefs, but you know what, lads? I'm going to go all in and say that Christian McCaffrey is the MVP and the Niners win the Super Bowl in an absolute classic. George Kittle has 2 touchdowns, and Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, becomes a Super Bowl champion against his Kansas City Chiefs. I will say here now, I think Andy Reid retires and Travis Kelce retires if he wins the Super Bowl.
Taylor Swift wants to be seen with a winner and gets rid of Travis Kelce, setting up a Super Bowl halftime performance next year.
Setting up a Super Bowl halftime performance next year. I just want to say, for everybody here this week, for all these lads that are here right now, we're just having a crack now, lads. A massive thanks to every one of you. This is Radio Row right now. Say good night.
Starting to clear off. Pat
Pat
McAfee's place has been dismantled as we speak.
Very sad.
I wish that you were able to turn it around and we had Justin there to give him a shout out so you could actually see him.
Goodbye as well.
But yeah,
lads,
those boys have been
what
massive.
a week, what a season. We should have look at the cut of that replay in the bottom.
Yeah,
we should have a reaction video coming on Sunday night, either from the stadium or in Vegas, before we say goodbye for a bit. But appreciate every one of you boys. It's been great crack this week, this season. Unreal. Ireland's first ever broadcast on Radio Row has happened. And we want to thank everyone for commenting, for interacting with us. It's not over yet. We still have 2 more days to go. But for us, it's been Pro Football Ireland, Slán go Foyle. Keep it lit.